Ladies and gentlemen, today is Friday, July 17th. Thank God it's Pod Day, and welcome to episode 19 of Can't Stop Playing. I'm your host, Zach Ostrobo, and before we even get to introductions, something very somber happened this past week. So let's take a moment for the passing of the master of the Mario Mansion, the prince of paradigm shifts, the wizard of Wii, Mr. Iwata. A very sad moment, not only because he was a major figure in gaming and, from all accounts, a very, very good person, but it's also interesting as it's one of the biggest, if not first, large deaths in the gaming industry for what is, for the most part, a young industry. So that was a super terrible thing. I think he was 55.
Which is super young.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yep.
So shout out to Nintendo and the family and everyone involved, and everyone that was touched by his games, including the three of us. And those other two from the grand state of Texas wearing a different team's hat every week. And let me point out, Gabe, last week you said that you don't like baseball as you were wearing a Yankees hat, which I think was
really...
Well,
no. I have a Yankees hat, I have a Padres hat, I have a Giants hat, San Francisco. I mean, I still wear the hats.
You're just a hat man.
Yeah.
All about the hats.
Yeah, because I'm angry too. Because when we had moved out of our other apartment,
he's so angry.
I'm
angry too. By the way,
I left a large number of my hats in storage, right? Because we moved from the other apartment, we moved to this other one. I said, okay, I'll get these later. I left most of my hats there. So here I have what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have like 10 hats here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I like to have a rotation of more than 10 hats, but I've been limited to these 10 hats until I go back to the storage thing, which I haven't had a chance to do. But I'm very angry that I haven't been able to change my hat rotation. So
have you ever heard of first world problems? Because that's like the definition of that. I only have 10 hats to rotate out of.
Yeah, I know.
I really like your like you would be the poster child for Inside Out. Like your range of emotions there when you're like, I'm really angry. Let me tell you about why I'm so pissed off. Speaking of angry though, we've got an email that I just, Max, before I even intro you, I got to get to this email. It's
okay. Wow.
So hold on. I know you had a great 18th birthday out in the town, just tearing up Canada.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I got to get to this email from First Last. First Last has written in previously with a game-related question.
Oh, that's his name? First Last?
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, but
that's clever, actually, because it's first name first, last name last. Brilliant.
But this week, he tackles a different subject.
He tackles me, basically, from what I hear. I've been told about this email, and I woke up this morning. I said, "Finally, I get to read. Like, I get to hear this damn email."
He was so nervous about the whole thing. He put a bed in that room.
Yeah, so I could sleep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In case it just knocks you back and you got to be on bed rest for the rest of the week.
Exactly.
Can you imagine he does the rest of the podcast laying on the bed with the microphone?
He's so depressed. He comes in next week, the terrible 20s, just like, man, life has hit me hard. Adulthood sucks. First Last, I don't know. He might think you suck, Gabe. He starts off by talking a little bit about Battleborn, but who cares? On another note, I'm so sick of hearing a grown man say he's afraid of ketchup. You may not like ketchup, but a fear of it is not possible. So my challenge to you, little Gabe, is man the F up. Face that fear head on and suck down one fast food ketchup packet. Don't you dare bring a child into this world with that as one of your fears. Lord knows this world has enough troubles as it is. Surely don't need such a fragile seed added to the mix, my friend. It's harsh, but out of love. Conquer your fear now, Gabe. First Last.
All right. Okay. A couple of issues.
Wait, does he sign it like that? Conquer your fear now. First Last.
Two things.
I feel like he would be the kind of person that, like, if he sent it IRL, it would have like a wax seal, like like those old school like red ones.
Probably.
Oh, that was brilliant. I kind of was poetic a little.
Yeah.
And here's the big misconception, and this is both your faults. I blame both you, Max, and Zachary, because I never said I was afraid of ketchup. I am not afraid of ketchup.
What?
Here, I am terribly grossed out by it. I'm grossed out by it to no end.
Okay.
I can't look at it, but not because I'm afraid of it. It's because it's freaking gross.
So just eat it then if you're grossed out.
No.
Gabe, have you ever taken liquid medicine?
I'm sure I have.
Okay, that's pretty gross. Did you swallow it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. All
right. So if you're not afraid of it, then great, just do it.
No. I'm not afraid of ketchup. Okay. Like, it's not a fear of it. I just don't want to look at it. I don't want to be around it.
I really hope somebody can go back and check if you've never actually said that. Like, I don't have a fear, because I have a feel like you've said it.
Because I've told you this. I've told both of you this, and I said this at E3 many times to Jake, because Jake was trying to find ketchup. He's like, "Gabe, why are you so afraid of ketchup?" I said, "No, I'm not afraid of ketchup. I've said this. I said it in the car.
You're not afraid, but you would sacrifice your wife, jump out of a window, not take $10,000.
Yeah, but listen, it's just
so
gross. That's
Like,
it. That's the big
just
deal.
even talking about it, gives me like the tingles. Like I hate it so much.
Oh my god,
I hate it.
I just like the part where he said, "Don't you dare bring a child into this world." Like that's.
I don't intend on doing that.
Aww.
But if I were to, me and him will be the ketchup hating army, and we'll just start
Ketchup hating army. That's.
But they're not afraid.
Like,
they're not afraid.
Outfits and everything.
Just grossed out. Not afraid though.
Yeah.
Zero fears here. Gabe,
you could have like a Ghostbusters type logo, but like with a tomato.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
a couple episodes ago, though, I distinctly remember you saying that me and you should have a weird podcast where we discuss our irrational fears, since we both have quite a few.
Well, I know, and since when you guys just refused to acknowledge it, like you guys called it ketchup fear, right? So I just went with it.
Okay, Gabe.
Yeah.
So it's our fault.
It is. I blame you guys. Ketchup
my
is
God.
fucking ketchup is gross. It's so gross. I don't understand why people want to get their food all wet and sloppy and. Ugh.
It's not wet. What kind of ketchup are you eating?
I'm not eating any.
Are you? Wait. Tell me. Have you like tried only ketchup? You know, like when you leave a bottle for a while and then you put, like if you don't shake it, there's like water that comes out.
He's never tried
Max,
any of it.
Max, stop this. I don't want to be in the same room as a ketchup bottle. Okay, stop.
Why? Because you're scared of it?
Oh gosh.
And first, last, I challenge you to any type of activity that is deemed horrifying in any way. I'll go fly out of. I'll go jump off an airplane. I'll go bungee. Like I'll do any type.
But
of
you're
crazy
not
stuff.
With a
of
parachute, right?
Yeah, with a parachute.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes. Like I'm not like a scared person. Zachary can attest to this. When we saw your punch, the first thing I told you was like, Zachary, we got to toughen you up a little bit. So no, it's not like I'm this wimp.
Dude, my punch is the ultimate deception, right?
You guys talk like I like how you just dropped that. Like everybody knows what you're talking about. Did you discuss this?
It's a gem for me and Zachary.
Oh, okay.
It was a moment.
Like, what are you talking about? What punch?
We were in the elevator going down the parking garage from Buffalo Wild Wings, where Gabe was inevitably about to get sick, even though I warned him against it. Didn't listen to me. And we were talking about like. I don't know, like fighting people or something. Gabe was telling me about all the fights.
No. That came after the punch because you punched Jake for some reason.
Oh,
Jake said something. Yeah.
It's a pretty.
You punched Jake, and I was shocked. I was like, "What was that?"
He just knocks him out in the elevator for no reason.
No. It was kind of the opposite.
There's a civil conversation, and then Zach just right hook, and that's it.
It was more like a hammer punch, is what I kind of like to call it.
Wow, wait, Zach, you throw your punches like this?
It was the weirdest thing.
Wow.
It was the weirdest thing.
It was. I learned it from Captain Falcon. His punches work. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Falcon punches.
Yeah, he throws a pretty good jab.
Let's introduce our third chair here, back from the party bus this century, hanging out with all of the coolest cats in Canada, Max Blitzwinger.
Yeah. From Claw. All the cats from Claw.
Yeah.
That's where I was hanging out. Hey, what's up? Nice to be back. I heard there was a stellar podcast last week.
There was.
Lots of emails.
And this week we had our email explosion, 60-plus emails, which is a new record. Toad comes on in his Mario Party voice and gives us the new record little noise. And, yeah, brilliant job by everybody reviewing the podcast, resubscribing to the new feed, leaving comments, sending emails. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't already, make sure you go and get on that new feed. We had to delete the feed a couple weeks back due to some errors and issues with the iTunes store, but it's back there now. You can go and grab yourself a subscription for the low price of $0 to Can't Stop Playing.
And 0 cents also.
There's not much of a better deal than you could get. Not much. I mean, maybe some ketchup packets from your local McDonald's or wherever, but...
Can I address someone individually here?
Okay.
Sure.
All right, Luke, at Luke Warg on Twitter. I'm talking to you now, buddy, because you've tweeted
all right,
this at
everybody
me
else, please don't listen right now. He'll address you later.
Close your ear holes.
You've tweeted this at me a couple of times, and I've said the exact same thing every time. All right? So when you say that none of the new episodes are showing up on iTunes, unsubscribe from that feed. That feed no longer works, okay? Just go search for us again, or find a link in the description. There's always a link for the Twitter feed, and subscribe to the new feed. I've told you this a couple times, and I love you that you're still paying attention. You're still watching this somehow, but you could just resubscribe and they'll show up. I promise. I promise you that. I'm not afraid to promise you that.
And now, before we get to Rocket League, the new trailers from Comic-Con, a little bit of Batman DLC talk, and a lot of your emails, I'm proud to introduce a new segment called I Have a Dream, where we recount our favorite dream from the past night. I'll start off the proceedings with one that I had. So I was back in my old hometown of the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan, And I was at Blockbuster, so this was like, this is definitely a throwback.
This is in the dream, or is this like something that happened recently?
In the dream. So I'm at Blockbuster, and me and my two brothers, we cannot find the right movie to rent. Like, this is a very stressful thing for me. I remember spending hours in Blockbuster trying to find the right movie, because my family has a lot of different ages. We have parents, we have kids, we have little kids. So it's a very eclectic mix. And I was trying to find the right movie, and before I knew it, I was driving in my car to meet this old man who had all of these trophies in this case. He was a former basketball coach, but now he worked at a car repair shop, and he was repairing my mom's car. So as I was driving my mom to get her car, they were building an IKEA in my town in Indiana, and it didn't make any sense because
this dream.
Right, my city is very small, and so I was like, why is there an IKEA? But it was going to be an IKEA Mini, okay, which is like a new thing they're trying, where it's like a small IKEA, and they ripped out an entire.
They only sell mini furniture.
They ripped out an entire shopping mall of like stores to like build this IKEA Mini, and I was just like, wow, this is going to make. I was like, this is really exciting. We can shop there a lot, and then I woke up.
Wow. So.
It's a fantastic dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the first and last time that we're going to have the segment known as I Had a Dream.
All right. And, well, I tried.
Yeah.
I'm 19.
Hey, listen, actually,
I have
on the bright side,
now.
maybe you could pitch it to IKEA. You never know, right? Like, there could be like, listen, that's a brilliant idea. IKEA
20
Mini,
years from now, an IKEA
we could
Mini
market
in
that
every store.
Brilliantly.
Yeah, and PewDiePie will be the face of the store, like the Swedish Connection.
Yeah.
Brilliant, yeah.
See, I'm a marketing mastermind here. All right, let's get into some relevant stuff for a little bit. Comic-Con, I was there. It was crazy. Oh, best costume of Comic-Con award. I have to give it out.
Okay.
All right, so
do you have a picture?
I don't, sadly. I wish I did. I was too embarrassed to take a photo. Like the runner-up is the guy dressed as Groot, who was like at least 8 feet tall, and it looked so good.
Yeah,
I don't know how he was so good. The second runner-up is a Splinter who was so furry, I was afraid it was like a real rat.
I saw that one.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
But the winner, the first prize gold medal champion, a slightly hefty woman. She was there with her 2 children. Kudos to her for bringing her kids to a fun and fantastical world of comics and toys and sweat. But her costume, I don't know what it was from, but she was donning a white rag, like a white sheet, and she had a giant star cut out in the stomach region, and her entire stomach was hanging out through the star. It was like the most embarrassing. I was like, did that just happen? Did that really happen? I don't know who she was, but she had a lot of bravado, wearing this like sheet rag costume with a star cut out. And
I'm like scrolling through my mind trying to think of characters like that. And I'm like
I'm guessing it was an anime character of some.
Dude, what if it wasn't even a costume? That's just how he dresses on a Wednesday or something.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, question for you, Zach.
Yes.
As somebody who has attended Comic-Con.
Yes.
Question number 1.
Yes.
Is it really that smelly?
I don't think it was that smelly, but on Saturday, I legit could not handle more than a few hours. Like, there were so many people and so little room to move, and it felt like you were just being herded through these lines. And the big problem is people that stop in front of the booths because they can't get in because the booths are too crowded, and so then you're like awkwardly I don't know. Thursday and Friday weren't too bad. Saturday, it wasn't smelly. It was just like so many cameras, so many children, so many people in costumes, so many Funko Pops. Like, I feel like Comic-Con, I was there about 8-9 years ago, and I feel like then it was much more about the panels and about the people, and now it just seems like it's like a flea market, kind of like, how many things can we sell in this giant I mean, it's miraculous how many booths they fit into that show floor. But yeah, 120,000 plus people. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The energy was good? Positive?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's
very positive.
Excited?
I thought so. I didn't see the only people that were upset were there were like some religious fanatics with megaphones outside, and at E3 they exist as well, but people kind of just walk past them. But since this is a public event, there were quite a few arguments that spawned on the street corners right outside Comic-Con. Other than that, though, everyone seemed to be really upbeat. And anytime like the Warner Bros. Booth or the Marvel booth would like show something on the TV, like everybody like sprinted over there and was like freaking out. So yeah,
that's good too. Any standout purchases that Zach made? Anything you could share with the podcast crowd?
My Nomura Batman, which is the Final Fantasy designer Batman figure, I really, really liked quite a bit. And then just as kind of like an oddball purchase, I got some like typical stuff, some Funko stuff, and I got a gangster SpongeBob statue. But
gangster isn't cool, or like
he's like
slang?
legit like has like a chain and like sunglasses and like his arms folded. And,
sounds dangerous.
But my shout out purchase of the week two things. One, I got my brother a awkward animal, stuffed animal. That's what they were called, and it's a rhino with a giant head, so the head can rest on like the side of a shelf or table, and his body hangs off. I really like that.
What is it called again? Awkward
animals.
Okay.
And then the second one is an artist whose name I can't pronounce. Did all these awesome paintings of minions dressed as like famous characters. And he had these like compilation paintings of like all the Miyazaki movies, all the Smash Bros. Characters, all the Pokemon. I got a couple of those, and they were just pretty epic. And you'll probably see them behind me at some point in the future.
And people should totally Google these awkward animals because they're ridiculously cool looking.
They're pretty awesome.
There's one, the turtle one, the octopus looks really cool too.
Yeah, I got the panda for my youngest brother, and then the rhino for my middle brother.
And what'd you get for yourself?
I got a giraffe.
Octopus to
giraffe.
Splatoon? Oh.
Giraffe. I did
Are
see
you a
someone
fan of
wearing a
giraffes?
Splatoon squid hat.
Did you wear
Could
it?
have been you.
No,
That
they had a
you.
Splatoon tournament too.
Did you wear it?
No.
Did you wear a Splatoon hat?
No.
You should have.
You should have dressed up like the
Squid Kid?
The boy.
Squid. No, like the squid form.
Oh, him.
Oh.
And just been like all wiggly.
Oh.
You should have just been
I could have
flopping.
shot ketchup out of my mouth
Oh, that's so gross.
at
Sure.
unsuspecting fans.
Yeah,
shout
I'm
out to
sure
all
they-
the cool fans I met at Comic Con as well. A lot of nice people there. Except that one guy, but no. Everyone was really, really nice. I was impressed by the amount of people smoking directly outside the venue. I was like, it's gorgeous here. It's California. We're supposed to be happy, and people are just like killing everyone right outside
Well, they were happy smoking.
as they killed all the people walking by.
Hopefully not.
It was a
I
fun
don't think
show.
I don't think smoke works that way. It doesn't just instantly kill you.
This smoke was pretty deadly.
All right.
Have you ever played Batman Arkham Knight, Gabe?
I've heard of it.
Fear toxin goes a long way. And
Yeah.
I wanted to make a special shout out to the drill boss battle in Arkham Knight. I think it's one of the more eloquently designed creative boss battles I've played all year. And I really appreciated the fact that it was challenging in a way that, like, what do I do here? I have to, like, be creative and think like Batman. What would Batman do if he was in this situation? Then once I figured that out, man, it was a really cool time exploring those tunnels and dodging the obstacles and having the tank not teleport or anything crappy like that. You know,
nothing like that. It doesn't instantly teleport behind you when you look away.
And I sound like I'm being sarcastic, but like I really did like it. Gabe has been hyping this up as like, or de-hyping it, I guess, as like the like Satan's bane. Get the Batman reference.
It's the worst part of the game.
It was so good. The battle with the like cloudburst is way worse.
Yeah. Well, there's two very bad things in that game. Yeah.
I like
very bad.
I like
very bad.
I think
that cloudburst battle is like total poop. Like it is.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I think that I like this game more than Splatoon and more than Evolve.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, a lot of people are actually saying that Batman is their game of the year, which was kind of surprising because the reviews certainly didn't indicate that way, but it seems like the consumers enjoyed the game, so
yeah,
I guess that's good.
All hail the consumers. The Batgirl DLC, just to touch on it real briefly, it's short, it's overpriced. I like it because you get to be a Batgirl, and it isn't a new area. So like if you're interested in that, it takes place at like Joker's Demented Amusement Park, which is kind of cool. And have you guys seen like the trailer for it?
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
Why does Joker look like he's from like the 1950s?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just because it's pre like Titan and pre Asylum, like all that stuff, and so he's more?
Yeah, this is pre all that, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they're trying to tell like a Batgirl like before she's been like
paralyzed.
Yeah, so obviously it's like it's within the storyline of the Arkham universe, so they don't like necessarily follow tat for tat the comics, but
sure.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to look like he does in The Killing Joke, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what I read. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what I read.
I haven't.
Is he wearing like a Hawaiian kind of shirt type thing?
Oh no, he's wearing his typical Joker thing, but just his face is like the way his face. It just looks very like it reminds me.
Did you say yogurt?
Yeah, yogurt.
Younger.
It is very white, Gabe. It's very white and
his
smushy gushy.
Yogurt.
Now, Gabe, if you said you didn't like yogurt because it's smushy gushy,
I don't like yogurt.
But ketchup is not like yogurt.
I've never had either of those things in my life.
You've never had yogurt?
No.
Man, Gabe.
I've also never had oatmeal.
What do you
I
eat?
think that's also meat.
just meat.
That's it.
Yeah.
Every day, just piles of ribs and pork chops.
No, I don't like ribs. I don't like ribs.
Gabe, whatever other meat is, I don't like ribs either. So to be fair,
can we make a bet where if the Lions sweep the Packers this year, you have to try all of these foods you hate?
I'll try one.
Okay.
Food. Food, not condiment.
No.
Food.
The ketchup counts.
No.
Please?
I'm not doing that. No.
Dude, there are people that will say that ketchup is a food category.
No, it's a condiment. And the Lions will not sweep the Packers.
Then make the bet. Happening.
No. Well, because then I have to find something equally devastating for you to do.
Devastating? I'll taste lemons. How's that?
You take a shot of liquor.
No.
No, exactly. That's where I'm at with the ketchup.
Yeah, but that's because it's... Not going to get into this. Max, tell us about Rocket League.
No. Hey, hold on.
Sure.
I really think people need to boycott this DLC. Because it's sort of egregious. The way that it's, like, so overpriced.
Break it down for us. How much is it?
I don't... it's part of the $40 season pass. I know that.
All right, but how much is it, like, if you buy it
I believe it's $8 individually, right, Zach?
I'm going to look it up right now.
All right, so it's an $8 package for how much gameplay?
Some people are reporting 35 minutes.
Okay, 35 minutes.
Some people are saying an hour. So between 35 minutes and an hour.
Okay, so let's say
it's
40 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
So
$8, so 40 minutes. Do you get any stealth missions? Get to play Batgirl after multiple skins?
No.
So this is literally for 40 minutes of gameplay, you're paying $8.
And
or the $40.
The part that I did not like was that with Harley Quinn and like that DLC, she has a completely unique moveset, completely unique arsenal. As far as I can tell, Batgirl has the same arsenal as Batman and the same moves as Batman, minus a few.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything I've heard about this DLC.
Does it play differently? Is it like a really fun experience at least? Or is it very kind of like, it's just a nice little like side step story?
Yeah, I mean, I like the setting. I think that's pretty cool. But other than that, it could easily be Batman. Like, you're at this amusement park rescuing guards, doing like take down all 7 of these guys, so then you can go in and save this person. Like, it's very status quo for Batman, which I think is, like, it's exciting to play as a different character. She teams up with Robin, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, people...
How much would you have been comfortable to pay for this? $3?
I think 5 would have been reasonable. I mean, at a certain point, you have to think, like, they're not going to make an entire separate thing for $2 or $3 or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm at as well.
But to me, the issue becomes with the season pass is more my issue, not the individual pricing, the $8, whatever. But season pass being $40 and this being like the big thing in the season pass that's going to make it worth the $40.
Have they announced everything in it?
Are you sure?
No, it's the Season of Infamy, which they're not clear about what that is.
Well, they said they're going to add villain stuff as well. No.
Yeah, but what? How? What? Like, what is it?
Well, maybe there's like storylines, like like a Joker little DLC.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it ends up being worth the $40. But for right now, the Batgirl DLC, everyone I've spoken to about it, like, thinks it's pretty outrageous. And like I said, 35 minutes of gameplay, like, people are upset by it. And whether it's worth the $8 or not, that's not necessarily my issue with it. My issue is that, like, this isn't cool. Like, people are feeling cheated. Everybody, like, again, the people I've spoken to, they felt like this wasn't
worth
what was like, or necessarily what was like promised to them.
Just to give you the direct factual information, the season pass for Batman Arkham Knight delivers new content every month for 6 months, 6 packs. So they're all going to be $8 then, because that's why it's $40 for the season, I'm guessing, because 6 times 8 would be 48. So you're saving $8. It says featuring new story missions, more supervillains invading Gotham City, new playable Batmobiles, advanced challenge maps, alternate character skins, and new drivable racetracks. So that's a smorgasbord of stuff that they can throw in.
All right, so let's say every month is this, right? Like, at least equivalent of this. But as far as content,
some of them clearly are going to be like a challenge map and a skin, or a racetrack and a Batmobile for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because you see, like, I could totally see people willing to pay probably for like 3 Batman skins $8. Like 3 variations that give them Batman Beyond, Batman from Batman v Superman, and people would be pretty happy about it, so to speak. But so it's weird, you know what I mean? Like, I wish that, honestly, my thing is, like, I almost wish that when you get the Batgirl DLC, now you can take and become Batgirl and play the game as Batgirl if you want. Like, just use her as the main character. Like, I wish that was the case, because I feel like then it's a bit more value, I
so wish that they would have just done like a $20 like a Left Behind type thing. Like, hey, just give us like a couple hour story with Batgirl, or pick a character, Catwoman. I don't even care, Robin.
Yeah. And that's what I was hoping the Batgirl thing was. Like a couple hours, nice little story, but it's not.
So what do you think is most offensive here? The cost, The content or the fact that they're selling you a $40 season pass and not telling you basically what it is?
Honestly, it's a combination of everything. Like, because if it's a, let's say, 45-minute game thing and they're selling it to you for $5 and it's good, like, then sure. But like you said, and a lot of other people saying it, like, you know, it's sort of the same thing. Now you're just playing it as Batgirl, but it's super similar to, like, structurally, like, what's it doing besides, like, telling, like, this little side story that isn't super important? And, you know, and like Max is saying, this is the only time you get to play as Batgirl, so you're not doing any, like, challenge rooms with her or anything like that, like you've been able to do in past games where you can use different characters and different challenge. I don't know.
I think the worst part is just that they're selling you something without stating what it is. Like, hey, we got 6 cool packs. Pay $40.
Yeah, but that's every season pass. Like,
is it,
when you
like
buy
Assassin's Creed told us, like, oh, you're getting this, like, Graveyard DLC. You're getting Assassin's Creed
but
Chronicles.
what does that mean when I tell you, okay, you're getting Graveyard DLC?
I mean, they said it would be a side story after the events of Unity. I just...
Yeah,
what if this one's Batgirl?
In a lot of scenarios, I remember specifically, like, I think with BioShock, they didn't tell us. With BioShock Infinite, right?
They said there would be 2 story packs and then a third. I guess it's just like, what if, like Gabe said, what if Batgirl's the only story one, and then next month we get a Batmobile on a racetrack, and then the next month we get skins, and then the next month we get challenge maps, and then the next month a side mission featuring, you know, some
Mr. Freeze or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's tricky. I guess, you see, the problem also becomes, like, from a perspective of, like, if this is the only game you buy this year, I'm guessing, like, you're not having any problems with this, because it's like, it's just more Batman. You know, I'll get a skin, I'll get another mission to do, I'll get whatever. So it's like, I get it, but from a general user perspective, it is kind of weird.
But keep in mind, you know, the game is $60, right? And the game is a big game. There's a lot to do. Season pass is $40, and you're getting 35 minutes of gameplay, some skins.
I mean, I think if they did it where every month they gave you an hour with a new character, like, imagine if it was like Batgirl this month, Mr. Freeze next month, you know, Nightwing.
That's what I thought.
That would be epic. And I think then at the end, $40 for 6 hours, that's not terrible, you know, for added content. But I don't think that's what it's going to be at all.
Yeah. Because I think this is like, you know how Batman Arkham Origins had Cold Heart or whatever?
Which was
good. I think this is... I think this is their equivalent of that, like, in their mind.
Well,
like,
not really, because Cold Heart was like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know, but in their mind, I think if you ask somebody at Rocksteady how long this is, they'll say, "Oh, it's 2 hours of gameplay," and it's not. Yeah. You know how they just overinflate stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I wish that it was more like, I would be even honestly alright if it wasn't like 6 of those. Like, if it was just 3, like bi-monthly. If they did like, kind of like almost like, you know, like the animated series for Batman, like the old school one. If they took some sort of like a episode or something that was like known for like telling one complete cohesive story and just like kind of explored it more,
that'd be cool.
And did that for like, let's say, an hour and a half, like do one Mr. Freeze, because he doesn't like have a significant role, one for Batgirl, that's great, and then maybe one for Catwoman or something. Do that. I'm completely fine with that. Like, I think that would be great. And then in the between months, they could have done like some skins and challenge maps or something along those lines.
Yeah. So,
I don't know. It's hard because, again, the problem that it all comes down to is like it's arguing about value, like, because it's so subjective. You know, one person could be like, "Oh, like this is completely not worth it," whereas another person could be like, "Oh, this is amazing. I would pay more for it."
I want to meet that person, but yeah, I mean, we can move on.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm legit like.
Yeah, but honest, I think you know some people that are absolutely happy about this DLC.
Okay. I mean, maybe I just haven't spoken to the right people. If someone's out there happy with the season pass for Arkham Knight, write us in.
How happy are you, Max, for $0 for Rocket League?
I am very happy for Rocket League. Now, of course, it's $0 only for PlayStation Plus users. Right. If you're buying it on Steam, it's $19.99, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think it's well worth it. It's a weird game. It's basically football with cars or soccer with cars. Yeah. And it's like, it really is a game that stands and falls completely on its gameplay. Like, there is no storyline to this thing, obviously. But it's such addicting gameplay. Like, it's so much fun. It's exactly what happens with Splatoon, where you don't realize how quickly that round ends, right? Like, you start the round and all of a sudden you're like, oh, 10 seconds left. Come on, I got to cover up quickly. It's the exact same thing here. There's actually a lot of like depth to the actual mechanics of the game, because you realize slowly but surely, like, hey, I could like jump and then if I twist my car in midair, because you allow yourself with the right stick, you can control like where the vehicle moves as you're in midair. So with that, you're able to, like, let's say, hit the ball sideways, right, and try to cross it that way. And then there's stuff like where jumping with a boost or a power-up gives you a lot more power, but it also allows you to get higher. So there's all these things that you start, like, accounting for. You can split up your team to be like, okay, you guys are the 2 offensive players, I'll play defense, and you kind of do that thing. Then there's parts of where literally all you could be doing is just bumping into the other enemy cars to, like, make sure they don't get control of the ball, and that's your role. So what I've played of it, which is about, I did like a 15-minute first match impressions, and then after that I played for maybe another hour or so. I don't know. I'm having a ton of fun with it. I've tried the 3 versus 3 mode. They basically have, I think, 4 modes in total. It's 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and then Chaos mode is 4-on-4. I tried Chaos mode, and it really is chaos because it's just a constant thing of, like, people are just smashing into you. It feels like, for some reason, like, to me, 3-on-3 is the perfect one. Like, if you want to play and you're not particularly great yet, 3-on-3 is great because if you're not good, your teammates can kind of, like, you know, pick up your slack, and it's a really, really, really fun game. Absolutely worth it for PlayStation Plus users especially. It's free. Go ahead and try it out if you like it. Just keep in mind that, again, it's a game that is 100% on its gameplay mechanics. So if you're looking for story or some sort of, like, investment into characters or anything like that, there's nothing like this. This is very similar to something like Trials, you know? So this is what
is it online only, multiplayer only?
To expect. It has an exhibition mode, so you can
do tournament thing.
Okay. Yeah,
You can do single player tournaments, but you can't do multiplayer ones for some reason. Apparently, the servers don't work all that well, from what people are saying. I don't know. I haven't played it myself.
In my experience, like, knock on wood, but I've not had any issues, so I'm not sure. Okay. But I've heard what you said as well. Yeah, some people have had troubles. I'm not sure if it was, like, universal, like both on PlayStation and on PC, or one or the other. I didn't try the PC version, so I don't know. I can't speak to that. But on PlayStation, for me, knock on wood, it worked very well. The only thing that I didn't like is that one of the matches that I got dropped into, I got dropped into a team where they were already losing 4-0. I don't particularly like when they do that. Like, I know maybe there's no way to, like, calibrate around that, but it's just kind of weird, like, to join a match where you're already 4 down and it's like, oh, great. So
it's called 4-0, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that because most people are like, what? What do you say? Right?
Yeah. Rocket League seems cool. I want to play. I'm going to play it today, I think.
It's an absolutely perfect, like, summer game. It's really fun, and I could totally see this game being, like, very, very popular for a lot of time to go.
And if we all have time, maybe we can do 2-on-2 together with our British comrades.
Yeah, we should totally do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I have a download.
Losing team has to eat a bowl of ketchup.
No.
Gabe, okay, if instead of eating it, since you don't have a sense of smell, how about we just dip your head, lean your head back, and just drip the ketchup in your nose?
Zachary, shut your mouth. What are you doing? Why would you say these things
you don't have a
that
sense
are
of
evil?
Smell. You won't even feel it. You won't even know.
You said dip my head into ketchup?
No, lean your head back, and we'll just drip the ketchup down your nostrils.
Get out of here, man.
It's just like rain. Zach. You won't smell it.
Too many images of... Move us on, please.
All right.
What else are we doing?
Angry Birds 2 got announced this week.
Oh, yeah.
What?
That's exciting.
No, but I think it's time. Angry Birds 2. Gabe, you got to keep the headphones on, man.
God.
If you want to be part of this podcast, there's no place for ketchup fearers around here.
I'm not afraid of it.
Right.
I'll beat ketchup up.
Okay, so let's give our quick and dirty impressions. A couple people asked us about this on Suicide Squad and BVS, Dawn of Justice, BVS DOJ.
The Department of Justice.
Oh yeah, that does work out. So,
BVS
who wants to start?
I love both.
Which one should we start with? Let's start with
Suicide Squad, the way that they revealed it as well.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So
I have a crush on Harley Quinn as always, but I think Margot Robbie looks freaking. She looks great. I don't know. I have nothing negative to say about either of these things, honestly.
I liked it. I think it's going to be very tough to do a movie that has like 500 characters, and I wish they would have given us more of a story trip. I know it's like fan service, so it's like, oh, character reveal, but I wish, like, I don't, personally, as someone who doesn't know the Suicide Squad, all I know is that they're like bad guys that they employ to do missions, and they don't care if they die or whatever.
That's all you need to know.
But is Joker on their side or against them?
No, he's going to be
Joker's not on their side.
So,
all right, but here's the fun fact. And this is just sort of how the Suicide Squad goes in general. Like, they show you, what is it, 6 characters maybe? It's Rick Flag, Diablo, Enchantress, Katana.
No, it's 8. I think.
Who are the main characters?
It's gonna be Harley, it's Will Smith, and
Suicide Squad is always like in rotation because, again, some people get
no.
chopped
But
off.
what I was about to say, they're gonna kill some of these. Like these,
Yeah.
some of these aren't even like main characters. Like they're gonna die in the very beginning of the movie. So the movie doesn't have as many characters as you might think. Is what I'm trying
So is
to
the
get
general storyline like Joker?
It's gonna be the main
verse?
characters are gonna be Harley, Joker, and Deadshot. That's my prediction.
But Joker's a
Yeah.
bad guy against them
yeah.
until he recruits Harley to his side, probably.
The idea is that the rumor is that essentially the Joker escapes and they are sent to bring him back in.
But he clearly is like operating on Harley and whatever in the trailer.
I think all that's like before because they show like Harley Quinzel, like the doctor before.
Okay.
She's Harley Quinn. So I think all that's happening before.
Okay.
I don't think this is all like. I think there's like flashback or
right.
they do the origin thing or something like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I honestly don't think that this movie is going to have an issue with the characters thing, just because going into this, I honestly would not even want everybody to get, like, you know, a lot of time, because, again, I think then it would feel very, like, it'll feel like 8 origin movies, you know?
Right.
We don't need that. I think that going into this, I hope, and from what it seems like, that's kind of how they're approaching it, like, the key elements that people are going to see in this movie are Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and the Joker. That's the key components. And then we know that Batman's in there as well at some point. So that's obviously an interesting little twist. I think that the most interesting thing about this movie is that it's going to be the first movie of this tone. Like, for a comic book movie. You know, like, we've never gotten anything like this. The Dark Knight was a lot darker and a lot more serious, but it wasn't like dark humor and comedy. This is going to have a lot of that, and I think that this movie is going to be like very, very different to anything else that we've seen from a comic book movie, so to speak. So because of that, I'm excited.
I have my fingers crossed for an R rating, even though I don't think we get it. I think this is gonna like get as close to an R without being an R.
Yeah,
because
I just don't.
cutting off.
Yeah, I don't think that this movie honestly would. Maybe they do need it. I don't know. I guess the R rating would be only necessary if you do like a lot of gore or stuff like that, like with the bracelets blowing up or the neck bracelets.
I mean, the neck. Yeah. I mean, people's heads blowing up. That's the thing.
But they could also do the stuff like, you know, how they cut around it, like in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Like you can imply, because a lot of times I think in film everything it's a lot more powerful if you just imply what happens, and then your imagination takes over and
this is the first movie of this style for DC, right? Like their first Marvel-esque team up movie.
I wouldn't say this is Marvel-esque at all, but
well, in the sense of like a team up, like
yeah,
like
I mean it's their first big cast film for sure, but
unless you want to count Batman vs Superman, which comes out first.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. I think that the most interesting thing about it is the director who's directing this, which is David Ayer or Ayer. How do you say it? Ayer.
Yeah, I thought it was Ayer.
Ayer. I just think he's going to bring like a very interesting motif to the comic book genre. I think it's going to be very different to everything else. I think that possibly the closest movie that will be close to this one is Deadpool. Like I think those two are going to be.
I did not like that trailer.
Tonally, I've not seen the trailer yet. Like I know that the like low quality one or something got leaked.
I saw that. I
didn't want to watch it because I want to watch like the good one. So
it just feels so forced. Maybe that's the character, but
I don't know. I'm excited for Deadpool to do stuff like where he breaks the fourth wall, like where he'll talk to the audience in the theater and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because he does.
Did you see it in good quality, Zach, or no?
What?
You didn't see it at good quality?
No, I mean it was solid enough to make out, you know, Colossus and Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds and everything. I just didn't like, let's go for the R rating and really make it clear in the trailer. Like,
yeah, I don't think Deadpool's gonna be for you. I just really don't think that's a Zachary movie. All right, so.
Batman. But will Batman versus Superman be for you?
I love that trailer. I was really into that one.
That was so awesome. Dude.
Wow,
so awesome.
Can you tell night and day between trailer 1 and trailer 2? Like, what a difference, right? Like, the first trailer, most people were like, what? This is so, like, Debbie Downer. And then this trailer, it's like, holy moly, strap me in and let's go. Like, I am so psyched for this. This looks incredible.
Yeah, and they knew who was watching this trailer. Like, they knew who this is for because they have the the Dark Knight Returns homage right there, right before he grapples away from the Superman beam. And man, there's so much stuff in this trailer that's so sick. When Batman tears apart the Batmobile and Superman breaks the Batmobile, Batman just stands up to him, doesn't even look at him at first.
That's the end of the trailer.
It's so cool. It's so cool, man.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
You
could totally tell Batman would just like stand up like, what the heck did you just do to my car, bro? I just got that fixed.
Three questions for you. One, why doesn't Superman just use his eye lasers and obliterate Batman in like 5 seconds?
Because Superman's not really into killing people like that.
Just like Batman.
Believe it or not.
All right. The second question, what place do Aquaman and Wonder Woman, like Batman and Superman, I understand. They're kind of dressed like normal people, but Aquaman and Wonder Woman look like they're from like space. So
Aquaman was not in the trailer at all.
But he will be in the movie.
And I've seen his like costume and stuff. They just seem
There's
like
even a rumor that the Flash might be having a cameo.
Yeah. I don't know where Aquaman fits into this movie in particular. I think
why is Wonder Woman? Why isn't she dressed like a Batman type person? Why is she dressed like she just came from ancient times?
She's an Amazon goddess. The place she comes from. She doesn't live in a city.
Because that makes me worried. Like it seems very grounded in that trailer until you tell me that Wonder Woman and Aquaman are there.
I think this is going to be the least grounded comic book movie. I think this is going to be as comic booky as comic book can get because I think that them doing like even that Dark Knight like tribute where they have the grappling hook, we've never seen like Batman. Well, I mean it's like in the 60s Batman and stuff like that, but we've never seen him like use a grappling hook like that, like like how he uses it in the comics where it's like literally like just grapple everywhere he wants. So that the scene of where like Superman's like flying ahead like that, and there's gonna be a lot of like Super Saiyan style fights in this thing, which is something that a lot of people liked in Man of Steel. So I guess that'll be that. I think that the key with this film will be to still maintain and remember that it's Batman versus Superman. Like I really hope that no matter what, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, all those other characters are in very, very, very minor roles. Not because I don't want them to be in a more major role. I just think if they do the thing of where like, and we're going to introduce Wonder Woman. And we're going to introduce Aquaman. And we're going to introduce maybe Barry Allen at some point. It's like, it's going to feel too stuffed. Like it's going to be Spider-Man 3 all over again.
I don't know if they're introducing any of these. I think they're just going to like be there. I don't think there's going to be a huge like Diana Prince introduction or whatever. Like I think they're just going to be there. Wonder Woman is just Wonder Woman. They're gonna. I think to them, everybody knows who these people are. The Aquaman maybe not so much, but I think his is a cameo in this movie. And even if like the Flash is in it, I think that's also a cameo.
Yeah, I mean we know that Wonder Woman fights somebody because in the trailer we see her like being like she's charging towards someone. So and from the background it looks like she might be fighting Superman. So
yeah, I think she has a prominent role. The other ones, it seems like they don't have a prominent role at all. It seems like it's more cameo stuff. And I think Gal Gadot looks so good as Wonder Woman. And I didn't like it at first because, she's like really, really skinny and she's a little taller than I would have liked for some reason. I don't know. But she looks really cool. Like in motion, like looks awesome. And her costume actually has like color, which people were complaining about that it had like no color.
How do you feel about Lex Luthor? That seemed completely out of place to me. Like I like Jesse Eisenberg, but like he seemed like whiny and wimpy and like
he seems out of place in general. Like the guy, like I don't know if he's totally into it.
The part where he's like the red capes are coming, I was like, that was like cringeworthy.
I just find it weird because he seems like the kind of like with the way he speaks about the everything. Like it's not like I'm saying like, you should if you want to be in a comic book movie, you gotta love comic books and stuff. But I just feel like if you want to be Lex Luthor, you gotta like think and believe like what he believes. And to me, it seems like for him, like from the impressions, it's kind of like it's another role. It just does not seem, especially based on like a lot of the interviews that he does and stuff like that. He just addresses it like that. He's like, I just took a job, and like I'm acting.
I just don't see how that guy's very threatening at all. Like, how is that Lex Luthor going to be like?
Well, Lex isn't ever really threatening. Like, no.
Well, he's not physically threatening.
Not physically, but just
even that you could bring up storylines where he is physically threatening as well.
Yeah, but that's with the suit and stuff.
Yeah, but
he's not getting a suit here.
Yeah, but I think that what they're doing is like, from what I understand, is kind of like the Mark Zuckerberg type thing, where he's like an internet super duper billionaire, and he kind of like, starts to get into a position of like, well, I am mighty and powerful, and I'm going to dictate where the human race goes, so to speak. So, and I guess Superman pisses him off about the fact that he might be able to divert that goal.
I really liked it.
I mean, the trailer showed that he has kryptonite or whatever. So like,
I'm surprised that you guys say you think it's those comic booky, just because you hear a lot of those like heady lines where like
Superman's, I didn't say that.
Okay, Max said that, where Superman's talking and like she's like, his mom or whoever is like, be this, be that, or don't be anything at all. You don't owe the world anything. And like the moments with like Batman, like, oh, Wayne, Towers has been destroyed. I don't know if you guys saw, there was an animated GIF where they compared the Zod versus Superman fight with the eyes, and like the movement in the building is like identical. I thought that was really cool, but it seemed to be very heady, just like sort of like the Batman Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that Zack Snyder is not the guy to do that. Like, I think that they are very much approaching this as it's Batman versus Superman on a screen. Let's go. Blow stuff up and have it be epic. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I think that sometimes that's the movie that you need to make, and it's fun, and not everything needs to be gloomy and dark and serious. And I almost think that it's a good thing if they do that, because I think that it's better for them to be like, hey, we're going to have these like collaborative movies be a lot more of an action film, just like the Avengers are. Right. And then in the individual films, like when we do this solo Batman movie, that's where you're going to get to learn this character more, and why he is the way he is, and why the people around him are the way they are. And then you do a solo Wonder Woman movie, a solo Flash movie. So it's like, I almost feel like they're going kind of backwards. They're like, here's a huge battle, and now let's see how the ripples of that affect these people individually. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think one of the most genius things they did is having Metropolis and Gotham be right next to each other, and do the idea that the wealthy people and the more successful people live in Metropolis, and Gotham is the more like, suburban and kind of like less affluent or whatever. I think that's a great idea, because it kind of like explains where each character comes from, what Batman represents and then what Superman represents, and have that kind of like almost social fight as well. So I don't know. I thought that was a great idea.
One tiny thing that I was not confused about, but I'm just curious where it's going to fit in. They showed the Robin costume with the Joker thing on it, and they're indicating that Jason Todd is dead. Like, that's the thing. So
yeah, they're saying that like Batman solo movie might be under the Red Hood.
Yeah, which would be cool.
Yeah,
do the Arkham Knight right. But like, where does that fall in? Like, with all of this other stuff going on, like the whole Batman vs Superman is obviously Dark Knight Returns, and then you have the Lex Luthor stuff going on. So where does the Joker fit into this at all? Or I don't know, it's a flashback or what. Like, that's the one thing that, not that it's not cool, it's very cool to just see like a Robin costume in general, like in this movie, even though like there's already so much going on. Where's this Robin stuff?
I wonder if that's a tie-in with Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
right. Because you see, they did say that Zack Snyder and David Ayer are working together on continuity. So again, they've said that many a times with other things, and then continuity that makes no sense. I just hope that I think DC understands how important it is to get this one right. Like, because this is going to be, as much as Man of Steel was their like new launch, I think this really is going to be their kind of like foundation. So it's like how strong this foundation is, that's what you're going to be able to like build up, or it's going to crumble. So we'll see. I just think this trailer did a great job of making us excited about seeing Batman and Superman on the same screen. I think the first trailer was very as much as it had its moments, and I liked some of the moments of like trying to set up the idea of Superman being outcast and not really being received by people and being kind of an alien and stuff like that, both figuratively and literally. And this one is just more like, it's Batman, it's Superman, they're fighting, let's go. Like, and there's something fun about that. So we'll see.
Yeah. What's the
I think if you want seriousness, you got to wait for the solo movies, though.
Yeah. What's the quick take on Ben Affleck as Batman in his 90 seconds?
I love it.
You love it? You think it's better, worse than Christian Bale? Same?
Different? No, I haven't seen how it is, like, so I can't say it's better or worse. I have no issue with Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's like it's so hard to judge still, right? Because I mean,
I still think he looks as Batman-ish as.
I don't know. I feel like he could be. I almost feel like his issue, which I know is going to be probably weird, is going to be more so as Bruce Wayne than Batman. Because I think as Batman, he actually looks really cool. I think he has like the the look. Like, he looks menacing, and I think that the way that the suit fits him and everything is like awesome. Even that desert outfit is like amazing looking. That thing looks ridiculously cool.
That needs an explanation.
Yeah, whatever that is. We'll see. I mean, you see, as we start saying all this, I'm like, there's so much stuff in this movie.
Yeah,
like, how is this all going to make sense? But hopefully it will. But I think he looks good as Batman. As Bruce Wayne, I don't know why. Like, when he was running and, like, when he kneeled down,
buff.
Something didn't click for me. I was like, I don't know.
He's so huge, dude.
Yeah,
I think
he feels like maybe he's, like, a little too big. Like, you know, he, like, got too muscular or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tone it down, Ben. That's what he needs to go on a diet before the movie comes out.
That's why they're getting a divorce.
It almost felt like he was going to turn into the camera and go like, "Let me tell you something, brother," and then he was just going to go into like a Hulk Hogan promo, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, at least we got some non Captain America, Iron Man movies to look forward to for next year, so that's exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot of them next year that are not Iron Man or Captain America.
Yeah.
Even though Civil War's coming.
Yeah, next year we have what?
Marvel.
Deadpool, Civil War,
Suicide Squad,
Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
And
X-Men.
Gambit, right?
X-Men. No, Gambit is not next year.
Isn't it fall next year?
Age of Apocalypse is next year?
Yeah, Age of Apocalypse.
Did you
is
see
next
the costume reveal today,
right.
Gabe?
Yeah.
I don't.
For
The X-Men
Apocalypse?
stuff look cool.
Apocalypse looks like the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. Exactly.
What do you mean,
Sort of
Thanos?
looks
No. What's that guy's name? Rodan
Ronan?
or whatever? Yeah, Rodan.
Rodent?
Did you call him Rodin?
Rodent.
Oh, yeah, Ronan.
Ronin.
Yeah, he looks.
Not really.
It's Ronin.
They look pretty similar. Like
He looks like
purple.
Apocalypse.
No, he looks like Apocalypse.
I just want them to fight like some of the cooler X-Men villains.
Like who?
Like
Because Apocalypse is like
villain.
what? Like
He's
he
the
is
one.
the
yeah, but I don't
X-Men
remember.
villain.
I don't remember Apocalypse looking like that at all. Now I'm gonna have to Google Apocalypse from X-Men.
Yeah. All right. So all right. What's a cooler X-Men villain to you?
I don't know what
To him, because he said it.
Yeah,
Okay, he does kind of look like that.
Yeah.
Except he's got like a gray face, really. I'm a fan of like I like Sabretooth. I like Galactus. I like.
Galactus is not a.
Yeah.
X-Men.
Galactus is a fantastic.
He fights
Four,
the X-Men though. At some point,
He fought
Some-
them
yeah.
at some. Yeah, everybody fought somebody at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah. That's a Fantastic Four villain, though.
I'm excited
And
for Fantastic
Sabretooth
Four.
is like no threat to the entire X-Men.
Yeah, like,
Sabretooth
Sabretooth
could be
is
a
like one guy.
threat
Wolverine
maybe
can handle
like
him.
individually to like some of them,
Yeah.
but not to the entire team.
So what is Apocalypse? What's his like go-to power? Bringing the apocalypse.
He is the first mutant. He can control other mutants.
So he just
He has
wins.
a lot.
Well, he's gonna have 4 X-Men working for him as his apocalypse, 4 horsemen.
Yeah, it's Storm, Psylocke, and Magneto, I believe they said. And
Storm,
I forget the other
Psylocke,
one.
Magneto, and somebody else. There's 4.
Oh, Archangel. There you
Yeah,
go.
Archangel.
How does
There
he
you go.
get Storm to be on his side?
Controls her. That's one of his powers.
Oh, okay. Well,
Zach, just accept it.
He's the first
Storm's-
mutant
is
ever.
Storm still being played by what's her face?
No.
The new
No,
Storm.
Look at
it's
her.
a different
She has a
actor. And she's
mohawk.
gonna
You'll
have
like
a
the Storm.
mohawk, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you'll like the Storm, dude. I think you're gonna like her.
Storm from Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Does she eat ketchup?
No, I'm sure she does.
all the time with burgers and hot dogs and French fries and whatever else is commonly associated with ketchup.
She has a mohawk. Weird.
Zach, you'd probably like Cable and stuff. You'd like such weird characters. Nobody likes Cable, but you probably like
Dude,
Cable.
Cable is cool.
Cable's not cool.
Dude, the stories with him and Deadpool and Hope, those are good.
I like all the
Those are
colorful
fun
ones.
stories.
Like what's that? What's the girl's name? She shoots like sparks.
Jubilee.
Yeah.
She's in the movie.
I think Psylocke looks pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, man. Emails.
Emails.
do
Email us
it.
at can'tstopasking@gmail.com. You can send us all your questions about barbecues, boys,
Girls.
big games,
What
girls.
kind of transition was that? Barbecue
I just didn't want him
boys?
to just not include girls because then
Our
people
okay.
get angry.
First email comes from OG Born K9. And
All right.
this character wants to know what our opinion is on the big Black Ops 3 Zombies reveal. Were you guys big Zombies fans before? And what do you think about Black Ops 3 in general? I bring this up because I got to play Black Ops 3 again at Comic-Con. That game feels like the best feeling Call of Duty ever. Didn't get to play Zombies, but are either of you into that thing? I thought the reveal trailer looked really cool. You eat candy, and you gain weird demon powers.
I like Call of Duty and I've played zombies before, but I'm not like crazy into it like everyone else is. Like It's fun. When we played Black Ops, that was really fun. I'm more into that type of multiplayer, the more traditional one. I like Team Deathmatch a lot. I like those are my modes. I don't get into the zombie stuff a whole bunch. The reveal looks cool. The little mini fridge special edition thing, the limited edition, whatever they want to call it, that looks cool. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's zombies. It's
yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I played the last time I played zombies. Which one was the one where they had like the monkeys attacking you or something, like the space monkeys?
I think that was Black Ops 2, maybe.
With like the ancient ruins map or whatever that was.
Yeah, so that was
the one where you got to
one.
play as Machete and like Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah. That was cool too. I wish they do more of that. That would be really cool if they just like take zombie movie characters and like have them in the mode. That would be really cool. Yeah. I don't know. It's cool. I'm excited about Black Ops. As I said, I think it's
Me too.
going to be awesome
for sure. Rodrigo writes in, and I'm gonna fly through a couple of these pretty quickly so we can just give quick answers. Rodrigo writes in asking, "What is the last thing we ate?"
Oatmeal.
That's a great question. Let me think.
Oatmeal right before the podcast.
What kind of toppings do you put on your oatmeal, or just straight oats and water?
Blueberries, raspberries, walnuts, and hemp seeds and chia seeds.
Max, you're my kind of man. We should hook up.
All right, and here just to destroy whatever you just built with Max. Last thing I had was McDonald's.
Ooh.
It was really late last night, and I was hungry, and nothing else is open.
You haven't eaten anything today?
No. I only eat like once a day.
What?
Why are we finding out all these things about you? Like, that is so weird. You eat once a day?
Zach saw at E3. Was I eating a lot of time?
Gabe was very surprised that me and Jake ate throughout like the entire day.
They eat all day. All they do is eat.
Yeah, but they eat very little, so it's healthier.
Yeah,
That's how you
I know.
keep your metabolism.
And I ate a whole bunch one time. So
I had 2 protein bars before we started.
Gabe's like, I eat basically 7 meals worth in a span of 25
Lucy just puts your bowl on the ground and like is like, all right, it's eating time, and dumps it in, and Gabe comes running.
Yeah.
Anthony writes in saying, "Hey guys, my name's Anthony, and I love the podcast. I listen to it every week while playing games like Mortal Kombat X, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, etc. My question for you guys is, even if a game has flaws, do you think a game could still receive and should receive a 10 out of 10? Been reading IGN's reviews for Grand Theft Auto, and even though they heavily criticized the game's online feature, they still gave it a 10 out of 10. For me, I'm 50-50 on it. How can you give a game a perfect rating if it has flaws? But on the other hand, is there really any game that would be perfect and deserve a 10 out of 10? Thanks, guys. Love the cast."
A 10 out of 10 does not mean the game is perfect. Like, you're not rating the game's like perfection. There is no perfect game except A Link to the Past. I'm joking. But yeah, so when IGN gives something a 10, like, yes, you can still give a game a 10 even if it has flaws. Like there's no way that any game it's ever going to be perfect. Not a lot of things in life are.
I think you summed it up good, Gabe.
Yeah, I think he did. Very well done.
So.
Good on you, Gabe. James writes in from England with a relationship question.
Oh, here we go.
James says, "Loving the podcast, guys. Been watching them for quite some time, maybe even since you started." Like, I like how he's like unsure of this. Maybe, perhaps.
Well, considering we switched the feed twice, and we had like how many episodes that were like the pilot ones, like prior to going numerically.
All right, we'll give him slack. Anyways, today I have a question problem that I wouldn't mind sharing with you guys about my personal life. I'm 17, and I decided to send this right after the question from John last episode, as mine is kind of similar. So here he goes. Right. So there is this girl I kind of have a crush on, and I've had it for quite a while now, and I don't know if she feels the same way about me. I do talk to her in person, but not that much because I don't really have the guts to. But I have talked to her via social media quite a bit, and I still don't really know if she likes me, for I'm the one who is messaging her first and starting all the conversations, not the other way around. Therefore, I'm quite cautious in asking her out or just generally talking to her because I get the suspicion that she doesn't want to talk to me, but that might just me overthinking. Should I keep on messaging her or not if I'm the one always starting the conversations? Thanks for taking a look at this. If it does get on the show, I definitely appreciate it. P.S. I really want a new MotorStorm game, which is a totally random P.S., but a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're initiating the conversation all the time, Gabriel, we'll go to you first here.
Look, and I'm like super optimistic about everything, so I don't think it's like her just not being into you. I think it's, maybe she has other stuff going on. Remember, you're 17, right?
Well, she might be also shy, right? Like
a
lot of times,
like 17, weird age. Like, honestly, you're probably not the only guy that like she talks to. Also, like, not in like a bad way, but there's probably a whole bunch of like people that she's constantly talking to because that's the age we live in. So yeah, dude, if you want to, like, you said you've had a crush on her for a long time. If you want your ticket in the ballot, for so to say, like, if you want to be eligible, you got to make it known, man. And I know, like, it's it's hard. Like, you're shy. I get it. You're 17, but I say you just go for it and it'd be like, hey, like, you want to hang out? Maybe. Like, I don't know. He said that he's met her in person a few times, right?
They go to school together.
Oh, they go, dude. Walk up to her in school, man. Like, pull her hair or something. I mean, don't pull her hair, but
that's good. Pull her hair.
Just walk up to her. Hey.
I'm joking, but like, no, dude. You got to be assertive, man. You got to get yourself out there.
I definitely know how he feels though, because like that even strikes me with like friends of like, why am I the one always being like, hey, what's going on, or like, hey, like I have a question, or hey, blah blah blah. Like you sort of start to wonder like, are you imposing? But some people I think are just more talkative and on the ball than other people who are more passive about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think the thing is sometimes you have to think about it like where she might be thinking the same thing where she's sitting and she's like, oh, why is he not messaging me anymore? Right. Like this is bad. I gotta be like, you know, and maybe she's just too scared to message you first. I don't know. Key is just make sure that as it is like a crush, I'm sure that it's first based on looks. Just like try to get to know her as a person as much as you can in conversations and go from there. Because if you find stuff that you have in common and if you think alike and stuff like that, then it's a lot easier to be just like, hey, let's go. Like if she likes sports or she likes whatever and you like that too, you're like, hey, by the way, there's this really cool sports thing happening.
And then there's also always the option of hanging out as friends without asking her out. Like you can totally do something or interact or have a fun time without being like, will you be my girlfriend? Like it doesn't have to go from 0 to hero instantly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like try to get to know her as a person first, like more so because that'd be easier.
And here's the reality of it. You have basically two options. You can either keep going on like this, right, where you have a crush on... You can either just keep going like this, right? You have a crush on her, she never knows, you talk to her sporadically, and it's never anything. You can keep going like this, and that's okay, I suppose. Or you can say something. Okay. Or you can say something, and it might not go like the way you want. You know, maybe she's not into you, right? But then you get to move on. Right, at least it moves you past the stagnation that you're.
And maybe you don't have to.
Or it could be really cool.
Maybe you could take
she does like
a middle ground, which is like instead of being like, "I loved you, I've loved you for so long, let's date." Like just you could say,
don't
"Hey,
do
you want to
that.
hang out?" Yeah.
Don't do that. I'm not saying do that, but I'm saying like talk to her, like like Max is saying, get to know her, and hopefully that leads to more talking.
So hope we could help you out here on
don't pull her
relationship
hair,
just take her to a cash point. Show her the big bucks. He's in England, right? Hey, we'll get Game Riot to come set you guys up for a fine, fancy dinner at the House of Scott. And
Wait, so Zach, that works? You just say you go up to her, go, hey, come here, come up to the ATM, check that out. Do you see that? All right, you're my girlfriend. Like that.
He's 17. You probably don't got a whole bunch of money.
I don't think that's how it works.
I just was cash points. One of my favorite phrases ever.
Points.
Yeah, love it.
Brian writes in saying, hey, Zach, Gabe, and Max, Rocket League just came out on the PlayStation and has exceeded very well. With all of its success being a free game on PlayStation Plus, do you see any bigger games or publishers taking advantage of the free PlayStation Plus system to build sales and success for their game?
They've been doing it for a while.
Like, would a big publisher, though, say, like, hey, like, we could get our game out in tons of people's hands? And
no.
The only way I see it happening is like a free-to-play thing. Like, if they were like, oh, let's put Smite or something like that.
Smite is free to play.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but like through PlayStation, they're never going to be like, "Hey, let's give away our great big Uncharted 4 or whatever."
Yeah. Like for example, maybe Valve could have done much better if they said like, "Hey, we're going to give you it away for free for a month," and there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. PS Plus is the good way to play a whole bunch of the smaller stuff. I mean, Rocket League.
Yeah, they have a lot of great stuff like for free. Yeah. So it's even though like we're in a bit of a lull in terms of like big releases, but like you can play Rocket League and go back to some previous releases now. Like this is a perfect time to complete games before the big.
Or start playing Smite and Borderline, get addicted.
You like it?
Yeah, I'm only playing the arena mode though, and I'm playing on PC. I'm not playing on Xbox. I still haven't gotten into the whole MOBA thing of it, but I'm playing the arena mode, which is an arena mode.
So it's just like fighting.
It's all there's. You have a score thing. You fighting, getting kills gets the counter down, as well as getting your minions to the other
base.
Teams.
Oh, so it is MOBA-esque.
Yeah, and it's MOBA-esque, but the lanes here are super short. It's like a big circle. Okay. Like it's not. Crazy.
Yeah, there's like little walls there where you can also spawn little minions and stuff like that to control.
Yeah, they have the MOBA mode, like the big one, but I'm not playing.
Okay, all right. I've been wanting to get that. I have it on my Xbox One. I just haven't.
Dude, it's super fun on PC. We should play
on PC.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's better on PC.
Why is it not better on
Wait,
Xbox?
you play it on PC?
I thought you just said you played on
you play it
Xbox.
on Xbox.
No, I said I don't play it on Xbox.
Oh.
It's the same thing. The account crosses over, so whatever you have unlocked on PC, it carries over to Xbox.
I
One
have
and vice
the
versa.
Founders pack, so I have every single hero, so we should do that.
Yeah.
Is that coming to PlayStation at any point, or did they just say
I don't-
no?
I think it's Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, I've reached out to them for the Gods pack. That's what you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. I think
Yep.
where you unlock all. I've reached out, so because
No, the Founders Pack is like when the game just came out on PC. I think you could buy it for like $25. You get all the characters.
Well, maybe it's
Yeah,
called
I
the
don't
Gods pack. I have the thing that has everything unlocked, whatever that may be, so I really should jump
that's
in.
the Gods pack now. I think
Okay.
that's what they called it.
Nick writes in, last week, Max, we were talking a lot about like review scores and should games be reviewed compared to similar games in their genre or just reviewed compared to all games. We were talking about like if Ori is, Gabe's 10 out of 10, is that the same as like saying Batman's 10 out of 10? How can they both be, on the same scale? So Nick writes in and says, hey guys, felt like I need to put my input in on reviewing games. I feel like if I give Batman a 9 out of 10, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 for what it does compared to other games within the same genre trying to do the same thing. So Batman and Shadow of Mordor are both open world combat focused games. So for that, I give Batman a 9 out of 10 and Shadow of Mordor a 7 out of 10. That's how I would like to review games. What do you guys think? And I just brought this one up because it was most in response to me and Gabe kind of disagreed. Gabe was saying he thinks like all games should be reviewed in the same pool, and I was saying I would like to see like Ori definitely could be a 10 out of 10, but in comparison to other games of that either price or caliber or what, because to me it's very hard to say like, oh, Batman's a 9 and Ori's a 9 when they're like what are you in terms of consumer review, how are you comparing those two directly?
To me, Ori and Batman are both 9s. Maybe Ori's like a 9.5 because I like Ori better. And I think they're still, like, we had this discussion last week. I still think they're very comparable because the way that I would review games, I'm not necessarily comparing them. I'm reviewing the experience of the game. I'm not, like, necessarily reviewing the game. So if Ori gave me a 9.5 experience, that's what it gave me. It's not going to get points deducted just because it's not on the scale of Batman. You know what I mean? That's more my point.
I don't
know. I don't think you should take away anything from a game just because it's not like a huge AAA thing.
No.
Like,
But I don't think the argument is about saying that games that are not AAA, if they're a 10 out of 10, they're not really a 10 out of 10. I don't think that's the argument.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
Okay, I disagree with. Like, I think that
that's what
it can be still a 10 out of 10. But I also agree with Zach on the thing that I think it's ridiculous to say that it's fair to say that a 9 out of 10 and let's say a 9 out of 10 for a $5 game and a 9 out of 10 for a $60 game is the same thing, because
no, I know they're not.
Your
the same
expectations
thing,
are very different. It's applicable to anything else. Like, I know I've done the analogy with the cars before, but like, if you're evaluating like, hey, how comfortable is a Mercedes to drive versus how comfortable is a Toyota Corolla to drive, like, your expectations going into the experience of driving that car are very different, right?
And
like
one thing we touched on a lot last week was like, how big is the checklist that you have to get to be a 9 out of 10? Like, for a game that's like on the iPhone, that checklist is so much smaller than like Arkham Knight has so many features that it needs to nail to be that. And like, that's where I just felt like there needs to be some like little qualifier that says like, this is a, and people can know that, but when they're pooled together, like, oh, they're both the same, it just gets a little weird.
Yeah. I mean, my issue is like, when people say, oh, you can't like Ori more than Batman because Ori's so small and Batman's so big, I'm like, no, I like Ori better. Like, I don't care the size.
Totally fine.
So
yeah,
totally
that's irrelevant. I think it's like, I don't think the issue is about a smaller game. If it's a 10 out of 10, it's not really a 10 out of 10. It's like a 7 out of 10 when you compare it to Batman. That's no.
Yeah, and that's what people say.
Yeah. I think as long as you just acknowledge, like, going in that you are going to evaluate an experience like The Witcher and Batman and stuff like that in a different way than when you're evaluating Ori or Axiom Verge or something like that, because going in, your investment and everything is very different. So, yeah. But they can both be great games in both categories.
Chris Boss writes in saying, greetings.
Chris Bosch?
Chris Boss, B-A-W-Z.
Chris Bosch.
Okay, Chris Bosch writes in saying, greetings, Ghost Blitz and Gabe. I just broke my PlayStation 4 controller when I got excited and threw it up. Let's just say I'm no Calvin Johnson. He said, that got me thinking. Should I do the work and save money to buy the Arkham Knight PS4 bundle? Basically, he goes on to say that he thinks like all these custom consoles are really cool and wants to know if we think it's worth it to dole out the extra money for a separate like collector's edition console. And I thought I would speak on that just because I probably am the most guilty of this thing. no.
Did you pre-order the Destiny one? Be honest.
No.
Oh.
I can't do
It
that for
does
Destiny.
look really cool.
It does look really cool. I hate Destiny. But yeah, I would say no, straight up. Like, none of the consoles I have, except the Xbox One that has the terabyte in it. Other than that, like, none of them are really worth it. Like, yeah, it looks cool on your shelf, but ultimately they do the same thing. Why, like, go buy
it's
5
weird,
games or something.
You see, like, when you say it's not worth it, it's weird because when you look at the package, like with Batman, for example, you got the game, you got Last of Us, and you got 3 months of PlayStation Plus. Plus, on top of all that, you also get the controller, right?
No, but if he already has a PlayStation 4,
okay,
Yeah.
getting then a collector's edition console, he's asking since we have some.
Oh, okay. So
that
not
like,
in general if they're
No,
worth
no,
it.
no,
Getting
no, yeah, 'cause
another
he already
one.
like if you already have
Yeah.
a baseline OG PS4
Sorry.
Xbox One, like, is then getting a collector's edition, do we feel like it's worth the... He thinks it's really cool looking, but is it worth him saving the money?
Yeah, probably not. I mean,
Yeah, I say just go buy another controller. And some
yeah.
games,
If you have one, then it's not worth it. But if you're gonna buy one, I think it's totally worth it because it's like most of the time you get a lot of value, like from those multi-pack things. So I would totally say if you don't own one and you're looking at the Batman one or the Destiny one or whichever one you're looking at, and you're like, whoa, that looks really sweet, and I like that game, then it's worth it.
But he broke his control, and now he's just thinking of getting a whole nother PS4.
That sounds like my kind of thinking. That's what I usually man, I have this opportunity here. I might as well take advantage of it. Ivan writes in with a quick and interesting question. He says, hey guys, what's up? Long-time listener, huge fan. Whenever I'm having a bad week, I look forward to the podcast because it always makes me laugh. My question is, I just moved across the country, and I'm starting to miss all my friends and family, but I don't have a vacation to visit till September. What do you guys think I should do? So I thought we'd send this to Father Gabe.
Skype?
Did you just say Smite?
No, Skype.
This is Skype.
Oh, Skype.
Smite and Skype. Play Smite with your friends over Skype. There you go. Perfect. I mean, September's not that far away, is it? July? Nah, a couple months. You'll be all right. Yeah, dude.
So basically, just sit tight and
like, what do you even say to that? He says he doesn't have a vacation coming up.
I know what I have to say. What I have to say is, because I get very obsessive over things, is try not to over focus on something. Like, sure, that's sad and whatever, but make the most of the day that you have right now. There's definitely times where I get like super obsessive, like, oh, I can't wait for this, or I'm waiting to talk to this person.
So much. I
miss Gabe. I can't wait to give him another hug. I can't wait to rub that fuzzy hair. But it's like, focus on the good things that are happening right now. He moved to Orlando, right? So you got sunshine, you got possibly Disney
Land or World.
You got new people to meet. Maybe you can make some great new friends who potentially would be even better than your old friends. So try to live in the moment, basically.
Yeah.
The
try to seek out something like whatever you're interested in, like gaming. Look around, like, is there some sort of gaming event or some sort of group that comes together? If you like, I don't know, playing cards, find out maybe a comic book store that does like Magic tournaments or something, and go to one of those, because you'll be surprised.
I'll be your friend. Tweet at me. I'll be your friend.
All right, there we go.
Digitally.
When you miss them, just tweet me. I'll be the replacement.
Problem solved. Raymond brings up an interesting problem. He says, hey guys, longtime listener of the show. I listen every week. Keep up the awesome work. Anyways, the other day I started thinking about Life is Strange Episode 4 and where it is. It got me thinking of one of the main problems with episodic gaming, the lack of schedule.
They had a schedule. They just didn't keep it.
I know that companies like Don't Nod and Telltale try to polish their products as much as possible. Not sure that's the case for the latter. That's my interjection there. But it's still something that really bugs me. What killed episodic gaming back when Half-Life 2 tried to start it was that the episodic element of the game failed. The whole point of an episode is to leave the audience on a cliffhanger for a perfect amount of time. Not too short so the suspense isn't there, but not too long so the audience forgets about the characters and all their motives. Imagine if a show like Breaking Bad or True Detective released the first episode of a season and then didn't tell audiences when the next episode was coming and then releases the next episode 2 months later. It leaves you feeling like you're cheated, like the developer is taking advantage of the audience. Case in point, Telltale keeps announcing new episodic games that they're going to work on, while Telltale isn't announcing the release date for Tales of the Borderlands episode whatever, Game of Thrones episode whatever, etc., etc. In the meantime,
Game of Thrones just got announced. By the
way. And didn't they just come out with Borderlands like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
I wouldn't
maybe
know.
June something. At the end of June, I think there was a new episode of Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
I'm not even trying to defend Telltale. Like, they gotta just finish what you got on your plate before you get up and get more food, basically.
And he finishes off by saying, so far, Resident Evil Revelations is the only game to put out a basic schedule and keep it. One game once a week for 4 weeks. Let me know what you guys think on this. Does it bother you that these companies spend months and months on a product, or do you think it's okay and it ends up benefiting the fan base more?
I don't think it's okay. Especially in the case of Life is Strange, like they said, like, hey, there's going to be like an episode every 5 weeks. Don't say you're going to do that.
How are they always so wrong about their schedule? That's what I don't get. Like, don't they have enough experience to know, like, let's say 8 weeks or something? Give ourselves a... or is it because they're smaller companies and they're living, like, you know, episode to episode very tightly, so they need release as soon as it's done, so they can't...
Square has to be funding them. Yeah. Like, it's not like I don't think, like, oh, the lights are off, we can't finish. It's not that.
Yeah.
But, like, even with Telltale, so I just looked up their schedule. So Season 1 released bi-monthly, and they stuck to that schedule of Walking Dead.
Okay.
The Wolf Among Us, bi-monthly, 5 episodes. The Walking Dead Season 2, bi-monthly, 5 episodes, and then 3 episodes for Michonne that are, I think, still coming up, right? Then Tales of the Borderlands is a quarterly release, so that's, 4 episodes per year?
But they just show up, right? Like, they're not...
Yeah, like, they're random. Like, there's not...
Yeah, but like, if they're sticking to, like, let's say, if it's quarterly every 3 months, then...
But did they say that? I don't think they said that at first. I don't think they said, hey, here's Tales
quarterly
from the Borderlands.
For a 5-episode thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really? For, like, a 2-hour game? Like, what? Quarterly?
Yeah, but you're paying, like, what, $20 for 5 episodes?
Well, it's not that the value's not there. It's just that they're taking so damn long in between.
So you would just prefer for them to, like, come out quickly?
I thought the Resident Evil thing was awesome. I mean, not the best game in the world, but, like, the fact that every week you could look forward to the continuation of the story, like, that was...
But, like, if we said the story of Resident Evil and the writing and the voice acting and everything that they had versus any Telltale season since Walking Dead, wouldn't you say that Telltale does it better?
Oh, like, for sure. But do you really think that they're, like,
story?
Redoing the lines? That's what's taking them so long? Like, we got to keep these lines
I don't think it's just redoing the lines. I think that writing a good story is not as simple as, like, hey, this is going to be a great story. You know?
Why maybe they just need to do this have the storyline. I'd love to see someone like Resident Evil clearly did, have the story and stuff done, and then just...
But then I almost feel like with Resident Evil, what was the episodic part of it? Because then why not just make it a whole game, which is what they did anyway after.
I mean, but you could say that with any of these, right? Why isn't Season 2 of Walking Dead just one thing?
Well, because I think it benefits from being episodic. Like, I think when I played Walking Dead Season 1, it benefited from the fact that I had time between the episodes. Like, I didn't play the whole experience right away. It was like, okay, a lot of stuff happened, a lot of stuff got set up, and some things are still unknown, and now I wait. Because I almost feel like the issue here is, like, if you're going to talk about episodic gaming, there needs to be the episodic component to it. Because otherwise, if you're just going to take any game and chop it into pieces and then sell it that way, it's not really episodic.
That's totally fair. I just like his TV analogy of, like, imagine if, like, your favorite show was like, yep, we'll be back in a few months. Like,
well, they do that.
Well, they do
mid-season finale.
Yeah, but not every episode.
Yeah, but what if we said that, like, same type of thing? Like, let's say if they had, instead of one mid-season finale, they had 2 of them. Or something like that.
Max, but why not do this? Why not finish every episode? Like, okay, think of Season 1 of The Walking Dead, Telltale. Right? Why not have all 5 done? Like, don't even mention the game until all done and say, okay, look, we have this every second Tuesday of the month, you're getting an episode, and they're all done. Yeah, why not do that?
Yeah, I mean, look, that's possible, like, a possible plan. I wonder if there's an element of, like, financing, you know, like, if they can afford to just, like, sit on a game, like, let's say for a year and a half or 2 years or whatever, build it and then release it. I wonder if they could do that.
Telltale could do it now.
Do you think any of it's reactionary?
And then the other thing that I was going to mention is that I do think that there's a component of where, as they release an episode, they're like, okay, what is the response? And I think that when they do those things at the end of the episode where they summarize, like, what did you choose and which percentage you were, I almost feel like they use that to kind of, like, influence, oh, okay, so this is what the majority of the audience is thinking, and, like, you can kind of, like, guide the story from that point. I could be wrong. It could be that when they're releasing episode 1, they're already working on episode 4 or 3. Mm-hmm. It's certainly possible, but I almost feel like if it was that simple, they would have done it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that there's a group at Telltale that's just going like, you know, it would be great if we released our episodes every 3 months. Like, because I think if they could do the thing of where, like, hey, let's have it all done and present it as a package, they would have. But I think you're not really taking advantage of the episodic nature of the thing, because it's episodic, so it almost like gives you a chance to like imagine if game developers, when they released Batman, right, when they got like, let's say if it ended with that boss fight, like the drill one that you didn't like, right, and then they're like, oh shoot, okay, people really don't like that, so we need to not have that happen in the rest of the game. So it almost like the episodic nature allows you to kind of like tweak the product that you're presenting. I think
the most annoying thing with Telltale in particular is that they have so many projects going on. It feels like there's no rhyme or reason. Like, hey, we're releasing this episode, then this episode. Oh, we're also announcing Minecraft and Marvel and like.
Yeah, but I think right now they have what? Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Marvel, Minecraft, Borderlands. That's it.
Telltale.
That's it. That's a lot, though.
Yeah, but Borderlands is about to end.
5 games.
Borderlands. Well, yeah. I don't know. Maybe studio is a little difficult to establish, like obviously the big ones, but I almost, maybe they're becoming more like a publisher kind of thing, you know? So, I don't know. Like, look, Borderlands is about to end. Walking Dead, they're only doing like those 3 episodes with Michonne for now. We don't know, of course. I'm guessing there'll be a season.
No, they said season 3 is coming.
They confirmed it already?
Yeah,
okay. It seems like a little bit of a money grab. Like, instead of doing Borderlands, like, we're going to do Borderlands, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, and then another Borderlands. So, like, you're sucking in all the money from all these different sources instead of just saying, like, let's finish.
But I almost feel like, wouldn't it be weird if they just said, like, okay, so this, for the next 10 months, we're doing nothing but Borderlands. Yeah. And then people who want Walking Dead are just like, oh, because you got to think about it. Like, not everybody plays all of them. Like, there's people who love The Walking Dead, and that's all they'll play.
What if Telltale did like Walking Dead is our spring show, and then Game of Thrones is our summer show, and then Wolf Among Us is our fall show, and so then like yearly, like you got like a new, I don't know,
like a cyclical thing. That could work. But I almost feel like they have a cyclical thing. It's just not like that, where like they almost go like Game of Thrones, Borderlands, Game of Thrones,
either like one than the other.
They have a lot of stuff going on. Like they're doing the Michonne thing for The Walking Dead, then season 3, and then if Wolf Among Us comes back, then that's a thing. Then Borderlands is super successful for them, so they're going to want another Borderlands. Marvel's coming, and Minecraft is coming, Game of Thrones again, because that's really successful, and then they're going to keep doing more license. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Make a new engine, please. Just get a new engine. Do that.
Adam wants to know a simple question. If you guys could relive any video game moment that you've played in your life, what would it be?
When you turn into... Ocarina of Time, when you go to pull the sword out for the first time, you go little, you go big, you go little, you go big. I love that. I did it a couple it's
that awesome. Makes me think of like Pokemon, you know, where like your Pokemon evolves for the first time and it goes like
that's the one for me.
I'm trying to think. I don't know, like if I could like re-experience it for the very first time again, right? That's the idea. Zach, go first if you have one.
It's a tie between the just like the moment where you dip into Rapture for the first time and seeing that world and that underwater monstrosity, and the like holy shit mind blown story reveal at the end of BioShock Infinite.
Okay.
Me and my BioShock love.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be a weird one, I'm sure, but I really like the like it always stands out as a moment in my mind, the Uncharted, like the climbing, when you're over the cliff, the snowy cliff and stuff, when he's hurt at the very beginning and stuff. That was cool because it was like the first time that I've ever seen anything that polished in a game. I was like, Jesus, like this is possible in gaming. Wow. Like that was really, really cool. Same goes with the train sequence from that one, because it's not your typical train sequence of where like, oh, you look at the background and it's the same thing. So you're basically like almost like they just move. You're moving through like a real environment. Like you're constantly going past different things, which was crazy. And then maybe I don't know. I really, really do like. To me, I know I say Last of Us oftentimes, but I really like the way that like that last sequence of Last of Us when you pick her up, and I don't know if I should be spoiling. I mean, it's been a while, but the last sequence in the hospital in Last of Us. That's what I'll say.
I also really like that moment in Last of Us, if it wasn't spoiled for you, where you switch characters. Like I think that was a pretty cool. Like whoa. Interesting question from Jordan here. Hey guys, my name is Jordan. I'm about to turn 20 years old and I live in Texas. Gabe,
happy birthday, soonish.
100. I sent Zach a screenshot of my phone with the weather thing. It was 100 and some degree. When I showed it to him, it was 100. The next day was like 102. It's hot out here, man.
Yikes.
I feel bad.
In a couple of months, my boyfriend and my husky and myself are finally going to move out into our own place. I'm nervous because I've never lived, quote, on my own before. I was wondering if you guys had any advice for budgeting, grocery shopping, furniture buying, any advice in general. Keep in mind, basically, they don't have like a huge budget to spend, so since we all live on our owns, any advice is appreciated super much. Been listening to the podcast since before they were on iTunes.
All right. And this is like common sense, but I feel like a lot of people don't have common sense. And I'm sure you do. You know, you're moving with your boyfriend for the first time. What's his name?
Chris.
All right. Congratulations, by the way. Wait, how's that going in Texas, man?
No. Her name is Jordan. His name is Chris.
Oh, I thought it was two guys. I'm sorry. I hear Jordan, I think a guy.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Oh, this changes everything. Not really.
What do you mean? What was your advice plan?
No,
Move
but
out of
the
Texas,
advice is like,
was his advice previously.
Yeah, sort of. No, but now, dude, just what's the opposite of dude for woman? Whatever.
Do that.
Just be smart. Take care of all the bills first. Like the most important things, you're obviously gonna want to take care of first. You're gonna pay rent. You're gonna pay your light. You can't be without those. Your water, if you got to pay for that. Try not to go get a whole bunch of loans. Try not to spend too much on credit cards because those are just like extra little small bills that add up to be significant.
Well, plus, it's the worst debt you can possibly have.
Yeah. But, a lot of people in their 20s, they get a credit card. They're like, oh, I can, do stuff with this. Like, yeah, you can. But the interest rate on those stuff, especially because you're just starting to build your credit because you're only 20, it's going to be too crazy. And just try not to spend too much on things you don't need. You're hungry every day. You got to eat, right?
Yeah, learn how to cook. Dinners. That's probably a very important thing because you'd be surprised just how much, like, you can eat well and not very expensively if you cook it yourself. Find flyers, make them your best friend, because if you can, like, check flyers weekly for, like, deals like, hey, there's chicken breast on sale there, and then there's some type of vegetables on sale there, and bam, go there, get some chicken, cook chicken. You can always make it with different sauces and stuff like that. So cooking is probably the number one way to, like, save money, because you're not going to be going out, and you'd be surprised, like, just how much you can save that way, and eat well as well. So probably that. Flyers. For furniture, honestly, it is IKEA, like, because I don't think their furniture is that bad, and I think that it's affordable. So there you go. Plus, get ready to have a lot of painful fingers, because tightening a lot of stuff is a pain.
She said they have a dog,
husky,
right?
Yeah.
Ouch, I just hit my hand. Sorry about that.
God, it's a big dog, too.
Yeah, and planned. You don't want to end up at the end of the month, like, God, don't even want to get into specifics, but, like, where you're like, oh, crap, like, the phone bill's, like, overdue now, and then you're going to be paying overages. So plan it out. Plan, like, what your meals are going to be. Plan what you have to pay, and make sure it's all set aside, and you'll do fine.
Yeah, because that's one thing that a lot of people in their young 20s, they just don't understand. Just live within your means. Like, I know it's cool, like, you see some people doing, going to clubs or, going to dinner, going on dates all the time with your boyfriend, things like that. Like, yeah, that's cool, but all that could come later. For now, you're just trying to get on your feet. So save a little bit of money if you can. I know I did this at my last apartment. I didn't want to worry about rent every month, so I paid them three months rent in advance because I had the money. So if you have enough saved up, or I don't know how that situation is, but I think giving yourself a couple of months of breathing room is smart if you've saved enough for that.
Yeah, and honestly, like, even if you still need entertainment, you also would be surprised how much of entertainment you could find, like, for free. Like, just, if you have a husky, I'm sure you're outdoorsy people or something, so find, like, hiking trails, or, like, like, you can...
There's no hiking trails in Texas, man. I'm sure there's some areas that get... Well, not many, man.
Go outside.
There's lots of stuff to do that doesn't require a financial, like, investment.
Yeah, and go to a park. There's, like, student plays all the time, and... I don't know where you live in Texas, but I know, like, if you live in Austin, like, UT is always doing, like, free stuff, like, free or, like, a couple of bucks to go see a sports game or whatever the case may be at that student theater stuff that they have going on. And yeah, just be smart with your money.
There we go.
And have fun.
And sorry, I thought you were a guy, but Jordan's a guy's name in my mind. I apologize.
Mateo writes in and says, loves the podcast because we keep him in the loop of the video game world. He's 14 years old and he's saving money for a new system. He really wants to play Splatoon and Mario Kart 8, but he's heard about this new NX system coming and wants to know if we think he should buy the Wii U or wait for whatever Nintendo releases next.
Depends on how quickly you can save up that money. I know when I was 14... to save $400 would have taken me a long time.
And this kind of goes in line with another question we had. Someone asked if we thought the NX would be backwards compatible with the Wii U, and I highly doubt that just based on the way they're talking about the NX and that it's going to be kind of a totally... It's not going to be like the Wii and the Wii U and then the Wii U 2. It's going to be like a totally different thing.
Yeah. I say wait for the NX just because you'll at least even be able to be part of the conversation, like the next cool thing. Like, there's a lot of great stuff on the Wii U, don't get me wrong, but I think, for me at least, I'd rather be part of the next cool thing than be late to this thing that's already starting to die off.
My natural...
it depends.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like if there's a good deal, maybe come around Black Friday or something like that, or Prime Day, right? Because that went well.
Woo, got some trash bags.
But if you find a really, really great deal, and did he say, or was it a he or she? I'm sorry, I missed out the name.
Was it he?
Yeah.
Mateo.
Yeah. So, if he said that he's really excited about a lot of games, sometimes I think it is a good idea to buy a console that's tail end because you get right away a huge library, right, and you could pick from what you want to play. So if you're really excited about let's say 4 or 5 or more than that games that are only on the Wii U, whether it be Bayonetta or Mario Kart or Smash or whatever, then I would say that there's nothing wrong with buying the console now and playing these good games that are good games, because you never know what the NX will be, right? It could be one of those things where it'll take years before it has any good games.
And we have no idea about release date, price point, any of that stuff. I mean, I saw deals a week ago at Best Buy for $260, and you got the Wii U, Nintendo Land, and Super Mario 3D World, which, thinking about that, you subtract those games, you're getting the Wii U for under $200 then, which, that's a super reasonable price for that.
How much value are you giving to Nintendo Land at that point?
Well, no, but also realize that when the NX comes out, you're going to be paying a significantly higher price, most likely. You're not going to be paying $260 for an NX and 2 games. Whatever that thing is, it's probably going to be a $400, system.
Yeah, true.
Let's see. The next email comes in from Sanam. A lot of eclectic names, which we love, which means a lot of listeners from all over the lands of plenty. Hi there, Cody, and Cody. Last week, you guys were talking about how illicit content in games is a bad thing and has a negative effect on some children. I actually think it has a positive effect. For example, when I first played my first M-rated games, I didn't really realize the full implications of death and the loss of human life. After playing those games, I gained a deeper respect for life and other people. And he goes on to give some other situations, which I guess I can see, but I think you're a very thoughtful child or person. To think of it in that way. I don't think most people play Grand Theft Auto or whatever and man, I feel bad for that person.
Yeah, I mean, it depends which games he's playing, because I think there's very few games that present death in that kind of way, where they say, here's the consequences of this.
Sure. So kudos to you for appreciating that. But his question ends up being, he is an 8th grader starting 9th grade, so high school at the end of the summer, and he's very nervous. Any tips for a first-time high school goer?
I don't know.
Catch it.
I would say do what they say to do when you go to jail. Find the biggest person, go fight. I'm joking.
Gabe.
But I'm joking.
Okay.
Just find your group of friends and try not to be overwhelmed by the fact that there's a lot of different people. I think the jump from middle school to high school is pretty significant as far as the type of people you're going to be around. And once people start going to high school, they sort of become who they're going to be. So you're going to have your jerks, you're going to have your jocks, you're going to have your more popular people, and try not to sweat all that too much. Just find the group of people that you're more comfortable with and then just have that experience with them, because it's a long experience. It's 4 years of your life.
I think the biggest or most intimidating switch is that you're going from being with 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds. So now you've got 14 through 18-year-olds all in the same area, and that can kind of be kind of scary. But I'd say most importantly, sure, it is a big jump, but ultimately it's just the next year of your life. So be yourself, have fun, and ultimately don't be nervous. Don't waste a whole bunch of time. Honestly, they probably could be some of your favorite years of your life. So don't waste a ton of time worrying or trying to like be perfect or whatever, just like Gabe said, find the people that you kind of gel with, enjoy it with them. And if people think you're stupid or, you know, a nerd or whatever the heck they may think or say, like, who cares? Like, ultimately, you're not going to like, you're not stuck with these people forever, and their opinion doesn't really.
And here's the thing. I was actually having a similar conversation with a friend of mine that I went to high school with recently. Like, a lot of the people that were like super awesome in high school, they're not doing super well in life right now. So like, you got to be mindful of that. So those people that you know, will like pick on you or whatever, that get bullied, things like that happen in high school, don't worry about it, because chances are, if they're living like that at this age, they're not gonna like be all that when they grow up. So man, just stay focused, get good grades. That's important, because after high school is when the real stuff happens. You get to go to college or university. He's in
America,
where's he
I think.
from? Okay, so yeah, you get to go to college, and that's what matters. Just, you know, make sure you get your grades on point, play some sports
take
as well.
advantage of opportunities. Like, it's easy to be like, oh, school sucks, like I can't wait for this is over. But high school is kind of that moment where you really don't have a whole lot of responsibility. You can enjoy playing sports, joining a club, going out with your friends, whatever. Hang out, go to the dances, go to the school events, because before you know it, you're going to be worrying about a lot more stuff. And that's something I wish that I had just been more involved.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sports for sure, man. Try them. Even though you're not like super into them, it just gives you a new group of people to talk to. And I always found that people in sports are a lot nicer, especially to people that are trying, even though, you know, you might not be as good. So give that a shot.
Speaking of sports, Sam asks a great question.
Aaron Rodgers.
Sam says, hey guys, I'm from the UK. Watching the podcast and hearing you talk about the NFL, I've grown up a fan of the other football, so I've never been really exposed to the sport of your football. I bought Madden, and I'm starting to watch old games and stuff on YouTube to try and learn. My question for you guys is, how the heck do I choose a team to support? I'm eagerly awaiting my first NFL season this year. Keep up the great work. Help me pick a team.
All right, I can't help you for this year, but next year, my Packers are going to go play over there. I believe that's what they said, right?
Why don't you support the Texas team?
I hate Texas teams because Texas fans are the most annoying fans in the world.
Shouldn't you
people that like
your
the Cowboys,
local team?
We don't got local teams, man.
Well, like your team, like who's
yeah, no,
he's got the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys.
There you go.
I hate
the Cowboys.
The Dallas
aren't they good?
No, man,
never mind.
they're the worst.
Okay.
I'm
They're
sure
very good
some people consider.
skill-wise.
Are they?
Well, they made it
Is
to
Tony Romo a good
All
quarterback?
right, back to
Hell
the
no.
question at hand.
All right, no, but the Packers are going to go over there in 2016.
Okay,
so,
or the Lions are going over there this year, so that makes things a heck of a lot easier.
I on purpose left that out.
Here's what I think you should do. It's twofold. Well, threefold. One, I think you should find a team that has cool jerseys / a logo that you like, because then maybe you
That's
get
my
colors,
way of
a
picking
T-shirt
it. Just
or a hat
pick
or something.
the one that looks the coolest, the one that you would be like, yeah, I want that T-shirt, and that's it.
And
There
then
you go.
find like a player or something you like. Ultimately, it doesn't matter if the team is good or bad, because like sometimes it's more fun to root for a team that's not so good. But yeah, I'd go for like coolest jersey color logo, and then maybe like find a player.
Who doesn't like this yellow and green? Like, who doesn't?
I
like
think
this?
it looks
Like, come
terrible.
I really do
it's
have
so
to admit
awesome.
their logo is probably one of the most boring. It's just a G. Like,
What
Yeah,
Green
they
Bay?
got ranked
Yeah.
as the
You don't
best
like
the
it?
best logo in jersey in the NFL. And I don't understand, but okay.
Yeah,
because it's
Absolutely.
literally just a G. It's like, oh, okay. Like the Lions have a lion. It's cool.
I think it's awesome that this guy though is like trying to get into the NFL over there in Europe. Like that's pretty awesome.
yeah. All right, here let's find a team for him, dude. No, we can't say Packers or Lions because we're biased.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's go with Seattle.
Hey, why not? Seattle's a good one. Seattle's a good one.
There,
What's like
you should cheer
who's like
for
an
Seattle.
up and coming team though that he could kind of like rally behind, and not people
Okay,
be like, oh,
up-and-com-
you're just like the best team.
Chicago.
I think no.
New York.
No.
Gabe, Max isn't like genuinely saying this. He's just shouting out cities that he knows.
I know, but
I don't even know which
look
teams
on him.
have, like, which cities.
The look
Does
on
Washington,
him,
D.C.
right? When
have
you're saying
a team?
Who?
Washington, D.C.?
The Redskins,
no, yeah,
There we go.
but it's not DC.
just Washington.
Yeah, Washington separate. I would say Miami, maybe
Who's their team? What are they called?
The Dolphins.
the Dolphins.
Dolphins? Wow, that's cool. Do they have a
Yeah.
dolphin as their logo?
They do.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I like their colors. It's the white and the
Man,
green.
I
Is
wish they
everybody
knew-
animals except for the Packers?
No, you got the
The
Steelers, 49ers.
Yeah,
What is the Steelers? There's just plates of steel? What is their logo?
Three little diamonds.
it's like diamonds. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the colors
the Browns.
are cool, black
the
and
Browns.
silver. I mean, black and gold. No, man.
I'm just telling
Who's
Gabe.
the one that's like a pirate? Who's the pirate one?
Buccaneers.
yeah, the
That
Bucks.
one. That one's a good.
I wish the new LA team was out, because then he could just get like behind a brand new squad.
I think Seattle's a good one because they were super close to winning a Super Bowl, right? They're gonna do well again this year.
I got this solved for him. I really do. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna quickly look at the. Where is it? Here we go.
Let me tell you something about it.
Hold up.
All right, here we go. The most exciting component.
You've got 6 teams coming to London this year. You might be able to watch them. So pick one of these 6. First, on October 4th, you have the Dolphins versus the Jets. Miami Dolphins versus New York Jets. Okay. Then on October 25th, you've got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Buffalo Bills. Don't recommend either of those.
Yeah. But the Bills, though, they got Rex Ryan. I like Rex Ryan.
November 1st, you have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Detroit Lions. I would honestly pick one of those 6 and then try to get to one of those games, because I hear that they're super exciting. Like, the crowd's really, really into it, and it's like a great time no matter what.
The Chiefs, it's a good team.
Lions are an okay team to like, too.
No, Chiefs.
Lions are an okay team to like, too. All right. Our next email, we got 2 more here. I'm going to save some for next week.
Cardinals? Is there?
Yeah. Arizona Cardinals.
They have a cool. Yeah. They have a cool logo. I like their logo. I'm just looking at the logos.
So what about the Cowboys?
Who's the Viking-looking dude? Who's that?
Minnesota Vikings.
That's the Vikings. Minnesota.
Oh, that's their name, the Vikings. Brilliant.
Yeah. Man, Teddy Bridgewater's gonna have a good year. Adrian Peterson's back. Man,
he's gonna be whipping all those boys on the field. Max, just to give you context, he got suspended for hitting his kid with a switch. Anyhow,
what?
A switch?
A tree branch.
Oh, okay. I'm like, a switch. I've never heard that described.
2 more emails. We have so many. Like I said, I'm going to save some for next week. This one comes...
Don't stop sending them,
please don't. This one comes in from Sitting Duck. Sitting Duck says, "Hello there, Captain Ketchup, Evolved Guardian, and the Clawed Crusader. My name is Brendan, or Sitting Duck, and I'm the other guy that plays Evolve."
Awesome. What? The other guy that plays here? Am I following him on Twitter?
He says, "As I listen to the podcast, I notice a huge amount of focus on 2 games from E3: Final Fantasy VII and Shenmue 3. While I can definitely see where Gabe is coming from when he says that it's going to sell millions, I have to agree with Ghost that these 2 games are unnecessary and simply unwanted outside of the nice group of players that play them.
I wonder why Zach picked this email.
I feel like Sony should have put more focus on a new IP or some new games than resurrecting these old franchises. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that these fans get the games that they want. However, I feel like these announcements are just thinly veiled attempts to hide the fact that Sony has no games this year. I was especially upset when I saw both of these games because I was hoping for something bigger, and frankly, I don't feel like E3 is a place for these kind of shenanigans. I do, however, like next year's lineup, and early 2016 is looking to be incredible. Thanks for being great, guys. Good health and good luck to all of you."
All right. Well, here's the thing. Sony really has nothing to do with these. Like, they announced them at their conference just for fan service, but it's not like Sony's making Shenmue. It's not like Sony's making.
Well, with Shenmue, they are remake. Like financing a part of it.
Yeah, but they're not making it. You know, yeah. Final Fantasy especially, Sony really has nothing to do with it. Like,
that one is just, for sure the more clear.
Yeah, and I'm not saying...
I don't even know if Square Enix has anything to do with it, honestly. For at least the next, 5 years.
Yeah, like, the thing is, these things exist, right? And so let the people that like it be excited. Why not? Why must this rub you guys the wrong way? That's the only thing I don't understand. Like, why do you hate
I wouldn't have minded.
And I honestly don't understand. Like, we barely talked about that. I feel like we talked about Horizon more than any other game.
The podcast that you were not on, we got into it. But, Gabe, my only issue is, be excited, but my only issue is, look at, the reaction to Uncharted 4, look at the reaction to, Halo 5, and then look at the reaction to Final Fantasy 7 and Shenmue. You think, they literally dropped gold on their face.
Sure, and what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I don't see your issue.
It's so annoying. I don't know. Whatever, fine.
Yeah,
but what's the difference between something like Fallout and this? It's
because I think people are more excited for that than Fallout, which I don't understand.
No.
Gabe, if you go back and play Final Fantasy 7, you'll think that game is crap. It just is now.
You've said that. You don't got to keep saying it. But look at the views alone on YouTube for the Fallout 3 trailer and the Final Fantasy 7
but look at the views alone for when a woman beats up a police officer in the street or something.
No, I'm saying Fallout has crazy views. I'm saying people are much, much more excited for Fallout 3 than Final Fantasy 7 remake.
I get maybe it's just the type of people that get excited for these remakes.
Yeah, they're louder. I guarantee... a tiny fraction of the amount of people that are excited for Fallout are excited for Final Fantasy VII. That number is much smaller. Right. So,
I really like this email, so we'll wrap it up on this one, and then we'll take a quick trip to Hype City. This is from Chase, and he has the logo of Chase Bank as his picture, which is brilliant.
Get alone.
Chase says, I was wondering what you guys think about the length of games. So many game developers are filling their AAA games with so much fluff to bump the playtime up, but is that a good thing? For example, I had a hard time finishing The Witcher 3 because every time I thought I was getting close to the end, I still had a few hours to go. Or how Metal Gear Solid The Phantom Pain is supposed to be super long. Just hearing that makes me not want to get it. I feel like The Last of Us and Arkham City had pretty good runtimes. What are your guys' thoughts on devs making games longer for the wrong reasons, and what do you think the ideal game length to be?
For me, ideal game length, right around 10 hours. I think. I think a 10-hour experience is what I want. Games are getting blown up. I think even Metal Gear, right? They're saying it's a big game. I don't think they're saying it's a long game. I think if you stick to the main story stuff and you don't go do all the crazy side stuff, I think you could finish it in a reasonable amount of time.
4 was like 20 plus hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I like his point where he says like he gets kind of like intimidated by some long games. Like that definitely happened to me with Dragon Age Inquisition and a few others where it's like 80 hours. Like how am I ever gonna?
Yeah, but that's just the genre. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a thing there. Like you're saying, Dragon Age and Witcher, they're very similar. So it's like that's the genre that you're like. People when they go into an RPG like that, that's what you want. You want that like 100+ hour experience. So I don't feel like there's any ideal game length because it just adjusts depending on the type of game. And I think that it also changes like a lot because when I was younger, for me, it's like if a game was long, it's great, like because I could have way more hours into it, and like now it's like 10 hours is like perfect. But,
that's my idea.
But I think that it's like it just changes over time. You know what I mean? Like as you become busier or you have other obligations and things like that, kind of shifts with as you grow up. So and it also shifts with genre, right? Like if it's a platformer, you don't want it to be 100 hours. Like that's weird. You know, if you're like in stage 1552 and you're like, wow, there's still 500 stages. Like it's weird. So,
I think like that 10
Mario
to 12 or 10 to 15 hour range, like that's a very good amount to get a full story in, but still feel condensed, still have like big hitting moments consistently throughout. Like one of the problems I do feel with those RPGs, even if it is limited to that genre, is you're really like extending. You'll go through slogs where not a lot's happening or where you're not reaching major plot points. And I do feel like that is, in some cases, a detriment to games. But maybe it is just like now I play a lot, so it's like, oh, I want to get... I guess I would rather play 3 games at 10 hours each for 30 hours and have 3 experiences than 1 game for 30. But perhaps it's just situational.
Yeah, of course. Because Fallout, right? Fallout 3, there's people that play that thing for
still playing hours. Yeah, because of all the mods and all the stuff that... like ads.
Yeah, and like I don't think a 12-hour Fallout experience would be what people that love Fallout. I don't think that's what they want.
But what if it was just loaded? Like every decision was epic, every moment was great. Like,
but don't you think if there was 12 hours of epic decisions, they're no longer epic? Like if they're happening one after another, it's like okay, I just did 10 of these in a row. Whereas it's like in Fallout, it's about like again. I'm not an expert on Fallout, so everybody can 100% correct me. But from what I understand, the experience is exploring, and then you have that big moment that happens, and then you continue going back to the exploration and kind of like learning the world. So I think if it was like one after another, it's almost that would be bad for that experience.
A lot of it seems to boil down to like the linear versus open world divide and where your personal preference falls. Like I'm much more on the linear side, and we don't have a whole lot of that, so I wish we did, but. Yeah, it is interesting though to see like the bloating of some games and infinite like things on the map. Like look at like the latest Ubisoft stuff where you're like, holy crap, there's enough markers on the map to.
Yeah. See, and I sit on the fence because I like my linear stories. The Last of Us is great, and the Splinter Cell games I really enjoy. Those aren't very open at all. Hitman, although this new one, who knows put that to me. But I'm also the same guy that goes and puts 200 hours on Rust, 80 hours of Reign of Kings in like 1 week, and like you can do both. Like,
yeah, I think like I said, I think it depends on what's the game that you're going into. Like if you're like, hey, I want to play an RPG, you're not going to go into it and be like, I hope I'm done in 5 hours. Like that's it's not realistic. So if you're like, hey, I love RPGs and I want to get invested, you play The Witcher, you play Dragon Age Inquisition, you play like you pick games that have that long investment, and that's what you play.
I mean, for me and the point I'm at in my life, like I do like the feeling of completing something, so I do prefer like if it's digestible, like that is more appealing to me. Like knowing like, hey, I will be able to get through this month, like that's a plus for it. But let's go to Hype City. Looking forward to the future. riding this train. I don't think we did last week, Gabe. We missed the train.
No, we did not. The train left.
Yeah, but
it was waiting for
I
Matt.
was riding the train.
Oh, yeah, through the city. The party.
Like
hype.
like Ant-Man, which is my hype city. I was riding the Thomas the Train.
Nice.
I'm gonna go see it tonight, so I'm excited.
Yeah, that's what I'm psyched for.
Zachary, here, and Max, here's my tonight. And Zach, the one down here isn't as bad as the one in LA. So tonight, me and Lucy's mom and Lucy, we're gonna go to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's a good one. This is a nice.
It's a good
one.
luck.
Right? Good luck.
Because I got sick at the one.
Don't mistake the waitresses for each other.
No, I don't do that here at all. I promise. All right, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna drop Lucy's mom off, and after that, me and Lucy will go see Ant-Man.
Nice.
And that's our night. So Ant-Man as well. I'm excited.
My hype city is for Gamescom, August 5th. We'll get more on Quantum Break, Scalebound, all that good stuff. I thought E3 was fantastic this year, but I'm just really, really excited to see, especially from the Xbox side of things, like what they have to bring for next year. Especially like we saw like Horizon as a 2016 or 2017 game, very exciting. I hope that either Scalebound or Quantum Break or Crackdown or all of them are of like that caliber where we're like, holy crap, this feels like a significant leap forward. So that's August 5th. That's coming up pretty darn
soon. The other thing I wanted to mention, another thing that I'm hyped for, we didn't even talk about anything Star Wars The Force Awakens from Comic-Con because they did that really cool thing. Oh, yeah. I just looked at his shirt and made me think of that. Yeah. But September 4th apparently is going to be, what do they call it? Force something? September 4th.
You're talking about May the 4th?
No. September 4th this year, apparently they're going to open up the doors for like all the merchandising that is going to be revealed, and
all the books are coming out too, all the same day.
Yeah, they're having like so many announcements for The Force Awakens on the 4th of September. Nice. So that's another exciting thing coming up.
Yeah. Nice. I got a plush Greedo dog toy exclusive from Comic-Con.
Nice.
There you go.
From Petco partnering with Star Wars. Quite the partnership. And thank you for partnering with us and listening to this week's podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a review on iTunes, subscribe, and all that good stuff. We'll be back next week. Turning 20. Boy. Wow. We've reached the...
I'm having my first drink. No, wait. I got to wait another episode for that for me to do it legally.
We've reached our second decade of existence, which is mesmerizingly magical. Yes?
Zach mentioned it, but keep writing in those emails. We like... Man, this is a renaissance of emails. This is awesome.
Especially now because there's a lull, so it's like it helps us cover so many topics.
Can't stop asking at gmail.com. Keep them coming, keep them fresh, keep them about whatever you want. We had an eclectic, just a cornucopia of emails this week.
Wow. Big words. Look at you.
Twitter.com/VolatileGabe, Twitter.com/Blitzwinger, Twitter.com/GhostRow. Until next week, enjoy your weekend, enjoy the summer or the winter if you're in the other hemisphere. And until next time, we will see you all later.
Do the queen wave, everyone.
I'll do a baby princess.
Okay. Me and Lucy do this thing where it's a hand hug. You put your hand on top, and then you hug the back of it. It's cute, man. Don't laugh at my cuteness.
Do you like this? I've always done this wave, and people make fun of me. They say it's like a baby wave.
That is a baby wave.
That is a baby wave. A little.
I guess I'm a baby.
Yeah,
baby.
Right. Bye. We ended this already,
No, I'm leaving that. That's all in. It's the best part of the podcast.